Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to my night to ramblings, where I will not have my other screen of YouTube up because for some odd reason, Firefox seems to not want to bring it up. Um, I don't know why. All of a sudden, all of YouTube is completely frozen, though everything else seems to work. And if I go over to another browser, that seems to work, but I'm not logged in. And also, this is the easiest way to shift back and forth. And if you wonder why do I bother watching myself on it, well, it's to see if I am freezing up because sometimes it doesn't tell me over here like it used to. Um, it's just something different. But I can scroll through everything else over on Firefox, and before anyone says, "While using Firefox," because that's what I have used for quite some time, and it works for most things. Um, Other than, believe it or not, I don't use StreamYard because it freezes up on StreamYard. Um, Although it's actually kind of better in some ways. But anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Hope everyone had a wonderful Monday night. Kicking this off, hopefully this makes your night a little bit better. The beginning of the week is always rough for a lot of people. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Anyway, let's get into it. There's a good amount of a good amount of news to talk about. Uh, I'd say I don't know if we're going to go 3 hours, but I have a feeling that the topic might prolong that, and it's for a couple reasons. And I'll talk about this at the end of the monologue and everything. But last week, somebody had actually asked me, and I've been asked this question numerous times before: is if classified went away, would the channel survive? And I thought it was a pretty good topic, something interesting. But Evil Dookie also asked me a question and said, "What would you do? What would you do different now if you were starting YouTube?" And I said, "Absolutely nothing." And that's not entirely true either because I got to thinking about it a little bit more. And I'm not a person that goes back in revisionist history and says, "I do this different, I would do that different." But the more I thought about it, there's definitely things that I would do a little bit different. So I'm going to intertwine that with if the channel went away. So now, and again, I will mention that as more people show up before we finish up with this and we get into the news. But those two things kind of, two people had asked two different questions, but they kind of intertwine and work together. So we'll definitely be talking about that later on. So anyway, your weekend. Hope it was good. I gotta say, I really got away from YouTube this weekend, and it felt really, really good. We didn't record anything for the TV terminal. We were supposed to record yesterday. Unfortunately, Adam forgot that he had prior commitments, so that makes tomorrow night a very long night because we do Circular Jerks, and then I will be jumping on and recording the next episode of Reacher with him. Um, but that's okay. I kind of know what I signed up for. Um, no reviews. There's been nothing, and I'm not gonna say there's nothing on the horizon. There's actually a lot on the horizon, as Big Bad Workshop decided to start hitting us and saying, "Hey, this is coming. This is coming. This is coming. This is coming." Or be prepared. We all know Hasbro, what they're about to ship in October and then November, and that should start trickling in earlier. So there will be some stuff, but if nothing happens throughout the rest of the week, I think maybe it's time to pull some of the other stuff that I've been working on over the past couple years actually probably the last year with with the classic reviews. Maybe start getting some of those going. Maybe start looking into pulling the stuff and getting the next 20 and then 40, 60 of the next 200 GI Joe classified figures along with the vehicles, which I do want to do, rating each and every single one of those. But I gotta say, it's been nice just kind of sitting back and doing very little. I did go to Canada this weekend. Crow's gonna say, I told you nothing came in. I know, but I had nothing to do, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go to Canada. Let's see if there's anything over there. Uh, because Crow, he's looking at the GI Joe stuff for me, maybe the Marvel. I want to see if there's anything else, and there wasn't. I did get the list of pre-orders that are coming out, so I can kind of compare them to the dates that we are expecting them. So there is some stuff that is about to kind of flood in, and if it's weeks ahead of time, then I can shoot on over there. I also got to remember it's about $20 crossing the border both ways. It was like $9 one way, $10 to come back, because depending on where I go, there's a tunnel. There's two different bridges. So I went there. I actually went to the second GameStop, which is in a mall. They're only a few miles away from each other. And I have to say, I'm not a fan of malls to begin with. The parking in this mall, and not so much the parking as much as the driving to park, is the absolute worst setup that I've ever seen in my entire life. When you're talking about like you're turning, and I know there's stop signs and there's crosswalks, but then you have loading like right there. I literally sat there for like 15 minutes trying to get to an aisle where I could actually just park, because no one was moving, because there's these stop signs and then the next stop sign and then there's loading zone. It's like no one was thinking when this mall was designed. And the mall is beautiful. It was a real nice mall and everything, like any mall, And again, it's right over the border, so they don't really have anything too different than what we have here in the U.S. But just the parking was absolutely insane. I was like, why did I bother? If I would have went straight, because I'd never been in the mall, so I didn't know where the actual EB Games was. They were not affiliated with GameStop. I didn't know exactly where it was, so it was a pain in the ass. But if new stuff comes in, I would definitely take a stroll out there once again, because they do get things different in different lots than we do. But basically, that was my weekend. I did a little bit of work for the association on Friday. Then it rained. Been hitting the gym. I really wasn't joking about that. I'm actually. This is probably the most dedicated I feel like I've been in many, many years. I'm actually just really enjoying going, because I don't have much else going on right now. It's nice to go and just have this free time and just clear my head with everything that I got going on. So, that was my weekend for the most part. Let's say hi to the chat really quick. This is still driving me nuts. As I've told you guys before, I like to have YouTube up so I can see what's going on, and I like to see if I freeze up. That's the biggest issue. And I'm not logged in on the other ones, which means that I have to go ahead and do that. So, all right, quickly we'll get to saying hi to everyone, and quickly we have Dustin Blair jumping in. Hey, Punk and chat. We got Sabir Del Norte. All right. I don't think any of you missed that sneeze. You could see it, but you didn't have to hear it. We got GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community. We got Cookster jumping in here. Checkpoint Alpha Blue Barnella. We got Matthew Matson with his customary Woody 222 jumping in here saying, we're waiting, wet fart noise. You know what, Woody? Why not? I know you love that one. Beardy McBeardis in here. Here we have the Canadian Krusty Old Crow jumping in here. Snow Wolf is here. Stephen K has joined us. Double Dog saying hello, Punk and chat. How are we doing on this glorious Monday night? Not that bad. Not that bad. There is me asking if anyone is having issues pulling up YouTube on their computer. We got Cooking with Eric is jumping in here. Double Dog asking, anyone get update on their HasLab yet? The only person that I've seen say they got an update was Jeremy Kimberlin. I have not for either of the two that I have ordered, but once I do, you know what I'll be doing, hunkering down and putting out a review. Hi, it's me. Is jumping in here. Is 29 is really aggressive. I'm assuming that's how many people were waiting, perhaps. Let's see. Is there anyone? Yeah, Viper Scout jumping and saying, is Lawrence on Baldy's dial-up? No, everything else is working. I wanted to make sure that everything else is working. It's just YouTube for some weird reasons. What is this? Viper Scout says, wow, 3 commercials to start. YouTube is getting aggressive with ads again. You don't have premium? I'm going to tell you guys this. If you don't have YouTube Premium, if I could spend money on only one thing, Netflix, YouTube, Prime you got to have because of all the stuff you order, but so it's just kind of given. Disney Plus, it would be YouTube. When you have no commercials on YouTube Premium, oh man, it is a game changer. It took me less than 12 hours to be like, I will never go back. I'm just saying. Derek Holloman jumping in here. Did we say hi to Machine Man? If we didn't, here we are. 610 Yojo Daddy saying, what's up, Punk? What's up, chat? Y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Please do if you haven't. Lightfoot, have you got the you should have gotten stickers by now. I sent stickers out and I even put a little note on the back of one of them for your daughter. One moderator, Action Figs, jumping in and saying, hello, beautiful peoples. Remember, tomorrow, I believe tomorrow, the stuff goes up for assembly required. I will let you know. Callister is here. We got 3-star draw saying, don't think I can do 3 hours right before doing 4 hours. I'm not doing 4 hours. I gotta work in the morning. Clint Jorgensen is here. Punk would just go into politics if that happened. Not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. There's so much other stuff that I'd rather talk about. Mr. Wonderful is here. We have Nolan, which makes us Toy Tube official. Grizzlehorn is here saying, hey, a punk with toys and all. U.S. Combat Dojo saying, evening, Punk and a chat. Machine Man says, copy repair videos. I'd actually watch that. I don't think that I would, but I'm not going to lie. There have been a few that I pull up on YouTube when I've had to figure something out, especially on a machine that I don't service or regularly service. And some of them can be very, very helpful. You get thrown out on a lot of machines, and a machine's a machine, but sometimes you don't know how to open it up. And you try and get the customer to do as much work as possible as you're watching, but sometimes they just kind of walk away. Or sometimes they're watching and you're like, shit, I got to figure out how to open this thing up. So Derek Holloman says, I actually got my Psych Out delivery from Walmart supposedly to arrive September 1st. I'll believe it when it's in my hand. You know what? I haven't checked mine to see if the delivery is getting ready or not. Last time I checked, which was this weekend, because I did go out looking for it, it did not say that it was shipping yet. It did just say that it was supposed to be here on the 1st. Ronnie Trickshot, or shall I say Classified Ronnie, saying that Ronnie Trickshot kid is here. He meant Classified Ronnie. You Lego Star Wars kid has joined us. We got SCS Dog saying aloha all, who he has a very interesting issue with his Don Moreno, and want to talk about something that is very weird from the factory. And he kind of mentioned to me, he's like, hey, I think I should do this video, like a video series. I'm like, you should. And let's just say Clawful would have to be involved in it if he does it. But I'm not going to spread any more news. I will let him decide if he's going to actually do something like that. But I think it would be very comical. Just saying. People can bounce things off me. It doesn't always mean it's going to do anything. Red Toys Galaxy is here. How are you doing? And Lego Star Wars says, Punk back in Canada trying to be first again. No, I just kind of wanted to go. Honestly, I wanted to get the fuck out of my house. It was raining. I just wanted to get away. I had nothing to do. Um, and I just wanted to go over there. And I gotta say, I expect it from Detroit, but man, you cross over the border in Windsor, and it's almost like they were like, we can't let Detroit have the only low income ghetto in the area. There are some really bad, and I know I mentioned it before. And once again, that street driving down there, whew, man, it is that is a rough area. It's yeah. Anyway, Lost Ranger has joined us. Allison Troy saying greetings. We got Steve Chom jumping in. Is there anyone else? I think we're just about done here. Matthew saying part 7 of Cobra Accountant has been released. I have not seen 7. If you're not watching the Cobra Accountant, you can find it on YouTube. Not on YouTube. You find it on Facebook. What's his name, Matthew? Because I started following him. He does other stuff too. It's a really funny series. It's a really funny series of him talking about being the Cobra Accountant and how he got the job and everything that's been going on. It's pretty damn funny. If you probably look up the Cobra Accountant, you'll probably find it. Anyway, is there anyone else? I think we're about good here. Oh, we got Billy Boy's Toys jumping in here saying hi, Punk and chat. Hi, Punk and everyone in chat. Hope you're all having wonderful. Hope you're enjoying your regularly scheduled Monday evening. I hope so too. All right, give me 1 second here. All right, so let me say a big thank you to NorCal Voodoo, who had me on his show last week. Wednesday we recorded. It is supposed to go out September 1st. It's kind of nice being on the other side and people asking me the questions. As you know, I'm always interested to discuss the stuff about my life. And you guys probably know it. You're like, oh, I know I hear you on Thursday with a friend. But if you're not having a conversation with somebody, then you're just asking them questions and grilling them. And it becomes very boring. So it is enjoyable to get to talk to people and see what they have to say and what type of questions they have to ask. So check out that. I will definitely be promoting it as it's coming up. I know he already has a teaser out there for September 1st. He said that it is the first time that his wife actually watched a YouTube show, and it was the one with him on it, and then gave him a whole bunch of critiques on what he could have done better, which I actually found kind of amusing, to be 100% honest. And then, if you didn't watch Thursday with a friend, go watch it. I've loved every single one that I've done. I mentioned before, I'm very proud of that show. The type of stuff that we get into. Last week's with Hans Chow was awesome. To hear this type of stuff that he does, the voices that he does, hearing him read a little bit of The Hobbit, kind of showing what he does. But the guy is probably one of the smartest people that I've ever had on. He's not the smartest because obviously I've had Matthew on, and we know Matthew is the smartest person ever. But Hans Chow is right up there. And I mentioned to him when we were talking that, at Joe Fest, he started talking about the political climate of the U.S. And usually when someone not from the U.S. wants to talk about the political climate, I really don't want to hear it. Because usually they're about to preach to you and either what is wrong or what is right or whatever. And he has his background and he comes at it such an education, like with such a knowledge and like being educated about certain things. It was very interesting to listen to him talk, and I think you'll find that within that whole interview that I did with him. Uh, it was truly one of the best interviews, and we probably talked for an hour afterwards too. I always want to get off of that show around midnight. I don't really want to go too much later. I have to work a lot of times. My guest has to work, but sometimes we'll talk to one, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning, another hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. Um, and then you're like, I shouldn't have stopped. But you also talk about a lot of stuff that you can't talk about on air. Um, but when you hear him, and obviously if you go back and watch that interview, uh, I am so glad that I got rid of that first impression that I had. And I told him, and this one of my biggest issues is I'll tell people things when I probably shouldn't. And I really thought Hans Chow, from what I had seen before, he was just this very fake person. I thought he kind of projected his voice. And you learn not only does he not project his voice, it's just how he talks, but he is just such a wonderful, genuine person. Um, and very few times in my life do I kick myself for judging the book by its cover. He is definitely one of them. So please go back and watch it. Give that guy some love. In all honesty, he again, the stuff that he does, his artwork is amazing. He's gonna have a booth at Joe Fest next year of just his artwork. And it's very female oriented, I guess you could say. But he likes to draw the males too, as he said. Anyway, go check that out if you haven't yet. Don't do it right now because you want to listen to this. Alex Martinez has jumped in here, and then so did Mr. Mad Gus. Matthew saying Hans was fun, but it was distracted by Savage Crucible info dropping us. Why? Like, is the info going to stop? Like at what point? Like, is the info not going to be there? There was nothing that mattered that you could not have gone back and watched that later. I'm just saying. Two-Star is saying, if we can get Matthew to Joe Fest, we can have a karate tournament and a round of Jeopardy. Ooh, karate Jeopardy, but not like Jeopardy about karate. Rather than like you ask them a question and someone buzzes in, one of them has to kick the other one in the head to answer. I'm all for it. I am all for it. GI Bro saying Hans is awesome. I was great spending time with him at Joe Fest. Seriously, like he is that good. Like you meet some people along the way and you're like, man, this guy's a pretty good guy, or hey, I like this guy. And then sometimes you're around other people and you're like, this person is special. And that's all that I have to say. Like, he is truly a special person. And sometimes you meet people that you think are special and you realize you're fucking special, all right, just not the special I thought. Anyway, there's that. All right, HasLabs. Some people are going to be getting them soon by the end of the week. As I said, I think Jeremy Kimberlin said that he got the thing, 21 pounds. That thing is a beast, if that's what it's going to be, and that's probably sounds about right. They haven't even done the unboxing video, although I know the unboxing video is coming sometime this week. Will it come before before people actually start getting them? I don't know. Kind of weird. I have some things, some feelings on how they're doing stuff. I really do feel like with how BMAC is kind of approaching a lot of the stuff, he's being upfront about a lot of the stuff that we wanted people to hear. I feel like if he would have been doing the marketing the past couple years, he might have been the type that tells you, hey, you know what? This is the reason why we're not getting Hooded Cobra Commander. All right. I'm sorry. Hold on. This is the reason why we're not getting Hooded Cobra Commander, which I think would have solved a lot of issues. He wasn't in charge, and I don't have an issue. I do understand. I do understand where they're at working in a corporation. So I'm just trying to get things settled here. But at the same time, I feel like since Lenny left, the urgency to actually put stuff out there and do the videos that get people excited isn't really there. And anytime that you have someone new come in, yeah, there's definitely going to be a different feel. But I felt like when Lenny did it, whether or not he wanted to do these videos, because he told me he's not really into doing these videos, although he's really good at it. People really got into him and they dug him, and there was this buzz. And I like what BMAC has to say because he's pretty much straight and honest to it. Like, dude, guys, we showed you that fucking crown was coming off. He didn't say it like that, but he told you. You guys are idiots. Stop. He didn't say it exactly like that, but he meant it like that. I just think, like, why a video hasn't come out yet or some more talk about it before these things are going to fucking start shipping. There are going to be reviews of this thing coming out before they even get the unboxing done. And it doesn't matter because people have already bought it. It's not like you can go back and order more. I just feel like there's something more that should be being done to create that hype and that buzz of it. And that's the reason why I think G.I. Joe was doing so well. Like, that team had this buzz going. And I hope that we don't lose it. I hope the new guy is able to get that, and him and BMAC can get that chemistry that Lenny and Tony and Emily had. But I don't know. Right now, and again, this has nothing to do with the product that's coming out, just kind of the buzz that is coming up. So the HasLab looks like it. We'll all be getting it really soon. That's all I can say. Garrett Winger, sorry, yeah, Gareth Widger jumping in saying, "Evening, people, long time no see and stuff." Well, I'm here, and you are more than welcome here, always, as I brought it up before. Ed quickly says, "Yep, you find guys like Hans, then you look around at your friends and realize how dumb your friends are." Not us, because Matthew is our friend, and we can never look around and think our friends are dumb because remember, Ed, Matthew is our friend. And Darren says that's gonna be hilarious if people get it before the unboxing video comes out. I kind of hope it goes that way. Well, we know you do because you're always rooting against Hasbro. No, I don't. It is done. It is done. They just have to actually put it out, from my understanding, and I guess we will see. Clint Jorgensen says, "It is amazing how the line feels different with Lenny gone." I don't know if the line feels different. I just feel like the enthusiasm isn't there. And I think this is why G.I. Joe was doing so well. Like, they all do their live streams, and we know G.I. Joe is like at the bottom of the barrel for Hasbro. You know, Transformers will get like 18 of them. Star Wars will get them. Marvel Legends. None of them seem to have nearly as much fun as what the G.I. Joe team did. And I don't think that kills the line, but I do think that it takes away the enthusiasm that people do have that maybe aren't into it. And just getting new people into it. Jim Smith says unboxing is coming tomorrow or Wednesday. Yeah, and like I said, I know it's done, but they just should not be waiting this long because people are getting the shipment, the shipping notice. Again, I have not, so I can't speak from it. And again, when stuff's coming, I'm assuming it should be coming all the way from California. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but I think Jeremy said by Thursday or Friday, so we will see. But yeah, and let's see. Gareth says we're we're going to get a YouTuber Snowcat unboxing before the official Hasbro one. No, I'm saying it could happen the way that things are looking right now. But yeah, I don't know. Darren says he told me Friday. Well, I don't know who he is, so I haven't asked. It's just certain people that I know that have worked on it have mentioned that it basically is done. So again, I don't know what they're waiting for. They're not doing anything. It's just how much editing they have to do. Who knows? Anyway, that's it. HasLab is coming. So if you got one, great. If you don't, you're going to be looking on eBay. Remember, this one is this is going to be the lowest one that they've done. So I've seen people. I saw someone offering like $500 if you can get one for $500 shipped. I kind of laughed at because do you know how much fucking shipping is right now? And some people told them to wait because they got they got a hiss for this amount and they got a dragonfly for this amount. This amount shipped. Again, I think this one is going to be worth. I think this one is going to be worth the most because there's the least amount made. And before anyone does ask, I will not be getting rid of my second one. As of right now, I am working with somebody so I can do reviews on secondary parts that are 3D printed for it. So I need to keep my second one. So I will not be selling my second one. Again, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. The whole idea was to see what Gridiron did for it. But I reached out to somebody else, and that's what I'm pretty much going to be pretty much what I'm planning on doing with the second one. So to all the people that have asked me, I don't have any plans on selling it. So, all right. Lego Star Wars Kid says, I'm starting to think the reason Thrasher is not coming with the Thunder Machine is because Lenny is not there. That was decided before Lenny left. That was decided well before Lenny left. There's people going to be mad about it. But when you think about it, there are people that don't collect the vehicles. They don't have space for it. They don't have the money for it. They're not willing to spend it, whatever it is, but they want the figure. As long as the figure is available with, when the vehicle is available, I don't know what it really matters if they're able to cut the price down. So let's say it's 125 rather than 150 with the figure, then you're pretty much paying the exact same amount. And Hasbro can also put a little bit more money into their pocket just to put a little bit more money in their pocket to help grow the brand. Billy Boy Story says, would it be good or bad if Dwight moves to G.I. Joe? Well, Dwight is not moving to G.I. Joe because they've already announced a guy that is. I actually think that it would be a good thing, to be 100% honest. Dwight is a huge G.I. Joe fan. I heard about this well before Lenny ever left. He's a huge G.I. Joe fan. I think it would have been easier to transition him over to G.I. Joe and then bring in a new designer for Marvel Legends because it's a much bigger property. But my understanding is this guy that they have, he's already worked on the G.I. Joe brand before. He was Lenny's mentor. So Zed Burns jumping in saying Hasbro can only have one or two people working, shipping, receiving at this point. So shipping that Snowcat will be awkward. They're actually not shipping it, I don't believe. It goes to a facility, and the facility just ships it out. So it's a little different. It's not. And again, when stuff also ships from Hasbro Pulse is not Hasbro. It is a subsidiary. It's like the Mattel store, Mattel Creations. It's not actually shipping from Hasbro. Clinton Jorgensen saying, Punk, can you get me a HasLab? Can you get me a HasLab for me at cost? Promise it to our kid. I understand, and I'm sure there will be somebody that is willing to sell you one at cost and ship it to you for free because people love just throwing away money and losing it. Russell and Mew saying with them raising prices and pocking literally nothing in the box and kind of a nonchalant Matt Lime, whereas the hey, go buy the action figure. Okay, with them raising the price, I think what you're trying to say is with them raising the prices on everything, with literally nothing in the box. I don't know what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to say is here you go buy the figure and you can buy this, referring to the Thunder Machine. I think I'm confused. Maybe someone else understood that. I know that's one of the things that we talked about at Hans. He said just take time, like read slower. I don't know if I could read that any slower and figure out what you were saying. HK Viper has joined us. We got same time toys jumping in here. But yeah, there are some things that I think will be a little bit different with the G.I. Joe team, but I don't think too much. I think it's gonna be perfectly fine. I just don't. I feel like there was more of a. There was more people were excited about it, and I think that had to do with the team that was doing it. And I hope that we don't go back to just, hey, look another live stream, and everyone's really bored out of their fucking minds. But that's just me. Goldilocks jumping in there saying, I have a baker's dozen who's got a 6 kid at home and has always dreamed of owning a snowcat. I know. There's a few people, and I can't wait to see those posts. We know a lot of tongue in cheek, but a lot are just really, really serious on it. Tim Brown saying, hello, Punk. I can't wait till the Arctic tank gets shipped. Oh, I can. Yeah, I had to go relook at the price. 210 bucks with taxes. I can wait. Especially considering our friends over at Big Bad Workshop are like, hey, don't worry. We're going to make sure that it hurts even more because we're going to start hitting you guys up right now. All right. And Hi, it's me says, no, Punk. That one didn't make sense. Not on you. Thank you. Thank you. Because you know how I'll start reading it like, okay, I must be missing something. And Mr. Maggie said, damn, that shit scared the hell out of me, Punk. All right. All right. Okay. Beardy McBeardy says, I do need a snowcat for a good price. Yeah, a lot of people do. And again, that's why all of us will tell you, like, and not you, but in general, you can't scalp something that was readily available to everyone. And we know it's going to happen. We know that it's going to happen. But you can't scalp something that everyone had the ability to buy. Now, maybe you didn't have the money, but Hasbro gave everyone the ability to buy it. So you would never hear me saying anything about someone scalping something. There was a HasLab that wasn't made to order. That was a choice. And as Baldy says, we all make choices. I don't even have a problem if you get something and you want to turn around and you spend 30 bucks on it and you can get 80 bucks for it, good for you. I also don't have an issue if people make fun of you when you're trying to turn around and flip something that is readily available on BBTS, Entertainment Earth, Amazon, and you're asking for like $30 more than what they are for free shipping. Yeah. I don't feel bad for you. And I will make fun of you. And others will make fun of you, probably before I even get a chance to. It's actually a lot of fun, to be honest. Okay. The Punkathon is happening, as I mentioned before, October 23rd through the 25th. I have reached out. As of right now, Allison Troy, we will be doing a coloring, as we always do, like 11 a.m. that Saturday morning. Smoking Joe's will be on at their regular time on that Saturday. I believe the Circle of Jerks are going to be on. I mentioned it to them, and it sounds like if they are available, and I know Tony is, although I don't know what Tony's been recently. He hasn't really talked to me. I think he's mad at me. Uh, I think that there's another toy tuber that is trying to sign him to an exclusive contract. I know that he wants to. I don't know what an exclusive contract is when it comes to toy tubing, but there is somebody that is trying to sign him. It's really weird. Um, I think Baldy said he can do it. Terry said he can probably do it, but he might not be available. I know some of you are going, who the fuck is Terry? Anyway, we'll have Circle of Jerks, Backyard Battlefield. They're going to make themselves available. Ronnie Trickshot and Shark Eyes will be the 4 a.m. I know you're thinking 4 a.m. Who the fuck schedules someone for 4 a.m.? Well, remember, they're in Australia. And the one thing that I've learned over doing this the past 2 years is that 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. segment is, I think that's what we did, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. It is one of the most fucked up, one of the fucked up segments that you will hear on any show, especially that first year. That first year was something else. I should really cut it up and just put it out as a 2-hour video. It was awesome. So and Ronnie already said, he goes, I already got something for you. He goes, I actually thought of something today, and I am asking him. So, but I am working on having a few other people. Obviously, again, if you don't know what the Punkathon is, 36 plus hours I stream starting at 12 noon on Friday, going through midnight on Saturday. Everything that I raise goes to Toys for Tots through Sergeant Red. So Sergeant Reds, they give us everything at a discount. This is all modern toys, so there's nothing new. There's no Power of the Force shit. There's no old GI. It's all new stuff. And last year we raised $3,600. The first year we raised just over $3,000. This year we need to raise over $4,000. So I do anything from super chats, anything the channel makes, channel memberships. I kind of forgot to mention that. So channel memberships, or Venmo or PayPal. I feel like I have built up enough equity, enough credit that you guys know that I'm not going to run off and not do this. Not to mention, Sarge would probably come after me. He can find out where I live fairly easily. So it's a great thing. It is for kids, Toys for Tots in the Detroit area. It's for kids that unfortunately they might not have as good of a Christmas as I always had, or that my kids had, or your kids. And I know there's a lot of people in here, and they said, hey, you know what? I went without, so I want to support as much as I can. And that means the world to me. It means the world to me that you guys trust me, that I'm going to do the right thing. And it means the world to me that you guys are willing to help out other kids. I'm not a stream that asks for super chats like a lot of other ones. I make my money through the Amazon affiliates, through YouTube AdSense and different things like that. But for that time period, I definitely do ask for super chats because it doesn't go to me. So Baldy Lives quickly says, what's a Terry? Where's the Terry? Who's the Terry? We got Joe RH. I'm going to say Ronnie Punk is acknowledging that you are in his chat. I always acknowledge when Classified Ronnie has joined us. Woody 222 says mayonnaise and pepper sandwiches make me give a lot of charity nowadays. Ugh. Mayonnaise is awful. Ugh. I don't even dislike the taste as much as just the texture of it. I just cannot do it. Yeah. And then Ostrodamus Toys has jumping, and he is where we will end the Punkathon as we always do, going into the clubhouse. Again, it is over on my chat. And Oz is the one that does all the thumbnails. He did send me the fill-in thumbnail so I can create the streams now. And of course, I did nothing with it because that would mean I have to sit down and actually do it. So, yes, Mr. Baga says Punk trying to get a ballroom built for the kids. Support him. Hey, anything for kids, man. In all honesty, I say it. I know a lot of people think it comes off a lot of tongue in cheek, but I never went without. My parents always made sure that I had, um, me and my sister, that we had a good Christmas. Um, I don't know if you ever heard. In 1985, I got the GI Joe USS Flag for Christmas, and I also got eight shipwrecks that year too, on top of the one I already had. So I don't know if you guys ever heard that story, but I mean, maybe one day I'll tell it. I always went, it was always good. My ex and I, we've always made sure our kids had more than they needed. There are kids that their Christmas consists of getting clothes and socks because they need that stuff, and that's what their parents can afford to give them, and they might get one or two toys. Obviously, I was never like that, and I want kids, they shouldn't be getting socks and clothes only because this is their present to them, but this is what their parents can afford. And there's a lot of people that say, you know what, that's on the parents. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but it's never on the kids. So Payne's Toy Sample jumping in and saying, hey kids, I guess I walked in on the rambling. My bad. Well, it's before the 10 o'clock hour, so yes, you did. Alice says it was a dark and stormy night in the kitchen. The mayonnaise was glistening and everything was moist. Wait a minute. Anything like Hans yet? All right. And Oz is saying, Punk, you do what you will with the thumbnail. Just get me the lineup so I can make the final thumbnail and flyers. I got to work on some stuff, just so you know. I got to work on some stuff, and I think I want to break it up, and maybe this time have you do multiple ones for whatever segment and what people are going to be in that segment. I was thinking about it the other day. But yeah, I just got to get it up there, and you know how that goes. Anyway, all right. For the giveaways, though, remember, we're doing the Black Friday giveaway. I've already reached out to a couple people who I know one has donated in the past, and the other said, hey, you know what? Let me see what I can get you. They're associated with each other. They both do 3D printing, and you both have seen stuff on my channel from them. And that would be Plastic Fantastic and Debo. So hopefully they're able to get me some stuff. If anyone wants to donate anything, and again, from the most basic G.I. Joe, Marvel Legend, Savage Crucible, anything like that, please feel free to hit me up. I tried doing it, tiering things up, right? Last year, depending on how much stuff that I have to give away, I would like to try and give some stuff away, maybe on the stream. Also, Action Figure Sold Separately, he also reached out. He wants to donate something. So hopefully we can have we can do some giveaways for whatever we raise during the show, but also tying it into that whole Black Friday giveaway where Tony wins everything that is important. I think you guys already know that. But remember, people get mad when Tony wins the Black Friday giveaway. But as we know now, when Tony wins, Tony also dances. And the Tony dance is, it's good for everyone. One of the best things about the Tony dance is he's not ashamed of it. I kind of think he should be. He is not. Maybe we can get him to do Mexican American live. Gun Bunny Customs jumping in here saying, what's up, everyone? So, if anyone is interested, that they want to donate something they worked on, something they created, please let me know. If you have some extra stuff lying around that you're like, hey, you know what? let's do something, raise this money for kids. Please let me know. Um, and I'll have to, once I know what I have coming in, that way I can tier it up, and I try and use it to raise as much money as possible for the kids. Um, I'm not keeping any of it. I don't have fucking room to keep shit. All right. I got 2 HasLabs coming. We got the Arctic Snowcat, or I'm sorry, the Arctic Hiss, and another Trouble Bubble, and a 4-wheeler, and we know a Thunder Machine's gonna come, and I know there's other vehicles that are coming. Oh my gosh, there's so much shit coming. My house needs to grow. My house really, really needs to grow. All right. Okay, so as for the topic right now, I know there's 70 people watching right now. Please hit the like button if you haven't yet. When we get to the topic, it was brought up last week. Somebody asked, hey, could your channel survive if classified went away? And the answer is yes. But I'm also going to discuss why the channel would survive, what I did in general when I actually started trying to grow the YouTube channel, what I was trying to do, and the reason why it would survive if classified went away. Also, right around that exact same time, Evil Dookie, he asked me if you could do anything different when starting a YouTube channel, would you do anything different? And I said, no, I wouldn't. That's not entirely true because I thought about it a little bit more, and there are certain things I definitely would do. And I want to discuss it because I think it all goes together. It all ties together. And if you are starting a YouTube channel right now, you definitely want to encompass as much stuff that these creators tell you. And I'm not just talking about toy tubers, I'm talking about YouTube creators because they give you a lot of good advice. And sometimes you have to take that advice and turn it into what we are doing, what our platform is, because not everything that they say is going to work in the platform. Early on, when I would talk to Allison, she'd give me some ideas. I'm like, that doesn't work. Let me tell you why. And a lot of times people will say, hey, that doesn't work. And you're just like, all right, you just shot it down. It's not shooting it down. You're explaining, hey, that doesn't work. Here's a reason why. How else can we get from point A to point B? Because it is a different world. So those are a few things that I do want to talk about. That's going to be the topic. So if you are doing a YouTube channel, or maybe you're just interested, tune in and you'll find out if the channel is going to survive if classified went away. It won't. The channel won't go away till I am done doing YouTube because that's something that I have decided. But anyway, we got to get into some toy news because there is some going on. But before we do, let's hear from a couple different people.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons!
What is it now, Commander?
Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought!
Are you watching that show again?
Yes.
Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not.
Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel.
Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture, news, discussions, and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know.
Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode, and hit that bell notification.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
All right, so there you go. As you guys know, 6:30-ish over on Baldylock's channel, I will be over there doing Circle of Jerks with Baldy, Spec, Tony, Terry. Who's Terry? And then at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Matthew and Pop go on, and they do a show that is not toy related. Sometimes they end up talking about Sometimes they end up talking about toys, but it is something unrelated over on Pop Blender's channel. So be sure to jump on over there. Baldy says that show's great. I agree. I mean, I'm not biased at all, but I do think it's probably the best show going on Tuesdays at 6:30-ish p.m. On your channel for sure. No doubt about it. But anyway, let's get into a little bit of toy news, and we'll start off with McFarlane Toys. And starting off with this Fallout Elite here. This is $59.99. It is available right now. It is a mainline release, so you can find it at BBTS, Entertainment Earth. I think Amazon actually has it up right now. I watched the first season of Fallout. Now I know this is not based on the movie. This is based, I believe, on the video game. But I gotta say, this type of stuff is really cool. Obviously, Nuka-Cola is supposed to be Coca-Cola. It has the color to it. We can rip on McFarlane stuff. When it comes to bigger things like this that are supposed to be like this, mech suit, it actually can work. And you can find a way to maybe use this in classified if you really wanted to. Or you can use it for your Fallout. If you want to go deep into that line, God knows he has to do something because he is losing the other line, the other property that he does, that he pushes out Batman after Batman after Batman. So this is the Elite, kind of pricey for what a McFarlane is. He does give you a lot of different weapons here, different hands, swords, bombs. So I will say this, at least he makes sure to give a whole bunch of shit. But this is, again, very interesting over how much stuff that he gives. This kind of, again, kind of tells you, when different lines and you're paying for a property, maybe how much you have to actually spend to make money. Because this is way more than he normally gives with a DC. All right, so here you go. A nice little big box, not a little big box. So, all right. And then Ghost Machine Geiger. Now, it took me a second to figure out exactly what this was. And then I knew that I had seen it, and I wasn't sure exactly what it was. And sure enough, it finally hit me that I got the Junkyard Joe from Mezco, and I didn't know anything about it. And I looked into Junkyard Joe because it's such an amazing Mezco figure. And I was like, if they did more figures from this iteration, from this comic universe, it is an Image comic, I would be all for it. I believe this is the Elite Edition, so it should be $59.99. One of the other reasons why I like to have this up here is where the price is. Well, my live clock is telling me what live is, and I can't see where if I was looking at it over here on the video, then I would be able to. So I believe this is glow in the dark. At least it should be. It's got a nice little wire cape. Now, unfortunately, this would not fit with the Junkyard Joe that I have, so I can't see myself getting it. But I really do think that this is a pretty cool fucking figure. Like I said, if Mezco went along and did more of these in this universe, I would probably pick them up. that Junkyard Joe is so good to shoot photos with some of the Vietnam style classified figures. And I thought all these figures, when I looked into them and what they were, I just was like, this looks really, really cool. So, but anyway, so that's it. If you're interested, this is the McFarlane Ghost Machine Geiger. War Chest has jumped in saying, I'm really hyped about this Ghost Machine figure. I hope they do other characters from this book. This book will be amazing, or Hyde Street. I agree. I hope so for the people that want it, because obviously it's more affordable than Mezco. But I think that McFarlane is going to do as much with Image as he can now that he's losing this DC license. And it's actually really smart for him to do. All right. And then we have this here, this Deathstroke. I believe this is a main line. Comes out 8/26. It looks really good. Like, the colors are fucking awesome. The detail on it looks good. But you know what's not good on it? The scale. But if you need a Deathstroke before they get the end of this line, well, you know, here you go. He's going to put this out there, and I think it's a good looking figure. All right, so we talked about these Green Lantern figures. Looks like they go up 8/27. That is my dad's birthday. So, Dad Punk, he's still not a punk. Happy birthday to him. He won't be getting the Green Lanterns because he doesn't give a shit. But we showed this off last week, but we got better looks of the actual figures. So here is this guy. I know we mentioned his name yesterday, but I do not remember, or not last week, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, Deathstroke looks awesome. I think it does, man. I hope that I hope that Mattel continues doing what they were doing. So, Tim Brower says, the August 14th Punk was his birthday. So, happy birthday, or happy belated birthday. This is not Stitch. Stitch is a little blue guy. I know, because in that room over there, there is so much Stitch stuff. There's so much Lilo and Stitch stuff. Yes. And then we have Broccoli Head. Broccoli Head and Distracted. But yeah, so here we go. And then we have Fish Head. Do you guys remember the song Fish Heads on MTV? Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads. It was like, not that you can watch MTV now. Just look up Fish Heads. It'll have to pop up. Tydirium Hanger jumps in and says, what do you think would drive your channel if Classified went away? I missed it. I actually haven't talked about it yet. That will be at the end of the show, which again drags on till the 11 o'clock hour. There's a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff, and I do have other interests. Just because Classified is G.I. Joe, not just Classified. It became the biggest part of the channel. There is no doubt about it. But I've often said about your channel that I used to watch yours, and it was like so much Transformer news. But then you look at your name and you're like, this has to be a Star Wars channel, right? But we'll get into that a little bit later. Hope you stick around, or maybe catch it on the replay. All right. So it was kind of interesting that they dropped these. But then you see that they have this here. And I believe this either went up or it is going up. And this is your Red Lantern Corps. It's also called something else too. And this is, I believe, a 2-pack. technically a 3-pack because it has that little cat there. And that is a big old buck right there. Uh, not Rachel says, no punk, sing it again. You can go back and then you can replay it. If any of you remember the Fishhead song, it is stuck in your head right now. All right. It is stuck in your head. The Fishhead is definitely stuck in your head right now. But this guy is really trying to get as much stuff out as possible. And this is the stuff that I want to see Mattel do it. I kind of don't want them to because I'm going to be very tempted to buy more than what my house can accept. But I really do like it. And I'm with you, War Chest, man. Atrocious looks pretty cool. All of these look really good. This is one of his biggest issues, man. They would definitely be just, he's making this stuff that looks really good, but it's all too late. And knowing that they're going to change the size, or at least what we believe that he's going to be changing the scale, Mattel, man, I don't know who really wants this, because you're going to be kicking yourself going, oh God, now they're giving this to me at a different scale that fits with Marvel Legends, that fits with what they're going to be doing for the next 5 or 10 years or whatever it is. Lego Star Wars Kid said, I would go having heavy into Star Wars again if there wasn't classified. Well, I think a lot of you know that, there would be a huge shift towards Marvel Legends. There's already a huge shift towards Marvel Legends. And Blue Barnella knows that fish heads eat them up. Yum. See? Look, you can start cutting it together, and then you can have me eventually singing the whole song. Matthew says, technically it's possible for someone to have their Snowcat review before Hasbro drops theirs tomorrow. Who has one? Matthew. I mean, I have not been on to see who actually has one, but if someone has one, I know if I would have gotten it today, I wouldn't have gotten it done. I might have. You'd be surprised what you can get done when you're motivated. I just say that. You'd be surprised what you can do when you're motivated to get something done. You sent it to me 45 minutes ago. Where was I 45 minutes ago, Darren? Oh, that's right. I was on this fucking stream. Anyway. Tim Brower says, dumb question. Is the Snowcat a Joe vehicle? Yes. Yeah, hey, you remember when you said a long time ago, hey, you have to stop reading all the chats? That's it right there. Okay. Timothy Jacob has one. Thank you very much. That wasn't that hard, now was it? Mr. Madga says Sharky would be here tonight, but he's at home too busy playing with his Snowcat. No, I actually don't, because then I get distracted. And then I start looking up other shit. That's why I try and that's why I try not to look at too many things when they get shipped to me or sent to me. So anyway, this is Pussyface. Please tell me you all didn't see that. Because as soon as I saw this, I went, oh man, dude, like Thanos Copter, if you're watching, you better get this, because this is definitely one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, I need this guy for my my Wednesday pictures, which I don't even think Thanos does anymore. But it's always going to be there, at least in my mind. So there you go. There's the box for it. You can see all the different heads that you can use. Again, McFarlane makes some pretty nice stuff at times, but a little too late there. Savage Crucibles. This is what Matthew was so concerned about finding out about. Their next Guar looking figure. This is for the Titans Toy Expo exclusive. Again, I'm not reading it because where it says the name, it also tells me that I've been live for 1 hour and 11 minutes. So I can't actually fucking see it, which is pretty fucking aggravating. Hence the reason why I also like to have my stream going. But anyway, if you are interested in this, it would go along with the Joe Fest exclusive. They look really cool. I can probably say that I'm pretty much out of doing Savage Crucibles. At this point, there is other stuff that I'm not cutting back on what I buy. I'm shifting over because I'm more interested in other things. But I have to say this, the Savage Crucible, Harbinger Studios, they make some absolute wonderful action figures. This is the company that, in my opinion, that could really continue to do damage to the Four Horsemen. If the Four Horsemen continue to just sit on their laurels and not want to really update the articulation. I still will say this. I believe that the paint on, Savage or on like Mythic Legions are second to none, but a lot of these are just as good. So when you're giving me something that is just as good and you're giving me more articulation and allowing me to do better photography and better dioramas, people are going to eventually start to shift, especially people that are new into the toy space, into toy collecting. They're going to look at stuff like this. And it's one of those things that, Four Horsemen, you really need to think about it and figure out how you're going to fix your articulation problem. And it is a problem, whether you want to admit it or not. Ed says, I appreciate the honesty in admitting you aren't cutting back, Punk. Listen, I'm not going to fucking lie to you guys. All right. I've just decided that, hey, there's certain things that I can't afford if I want to buy this other stuff. And maybe if Big Bad Workshop wasn't pushing out so much awesome, cool stuff that goes with the stuff that I'm really interested in, then maybe I would still be picking some stuff up. All right, so here it is. Drevethi Sentinel, whatever. I don't know how to say his fucking name. They're dumb like fucking Mythic Legion shit. You never understand their names. But there you go. If you want it, go pick it up. I won't be getting it, nor will I be asking anyone to get it for me because I'm not very interested in it. But it does look awesome. You gotta love bloody variants. I thought that there was I thought only one person. I thought he had like a trademark on bloody variants. All right, Super 7. And they are doing I can't think of their names. Invincible figures. Now, I kind of feel like Dodgeball. That's a bold move, Cotton. So, Super 7 is a very it's a well-known company. And it is a company that we have all, I think most of us have had our say with, right? They are overpriced, bad articulation. They have awful QC. And Jada is also doing their own version. And we've already seen what Jada can do with the Street Fighter figures. But if you look at these figures here, these have double joints. So this dude here, who I can't see his name, he has double joints in the knees and elbows. It also looks like he has a diaphragm cut. Now, I kind of look at this guy and I think this is going to be the equivalent of a McFarlane figure compared to, what Jada is going to do, which is going to be a Marvel Legends figure, where the articulation is going to be night and day. With that said, the sculpt looks really good. Still has this really awful cape, which looks like a plastic cape. And you're going to be able to get better poses, but I still don't think it's going to be that good. And math, I think he says meth is real. I canceled some Joe pre-orders because, math is real. I canceled some Joe pre-orders because Siberia and the Assault Trooper. Well, let's not get fucking crazy. I'm not doing that. And then we get Alan the Alien. Again, you can see the double joints on it. This doesn't look bad, but it also makes you ask the question is what is Jada going to do? There'll be a cheaper price point. They are definitely going to have better articulation, as we've already seen with the Street Fighter. So is it even going to be worth getting these? Will you be able to mix and match with them? That's the biggest question. And Alan is a much bigger figure, but we've also seen the Jada Toys. They have no issues doing a bigger figure for still a $35 price point. Frank DeMunia jumping in here saying, is it Angstrom? I don't know. It says right here, but I got to remove your thing here. Yes, Angstrom Levy. Again, it says live. Normally I can see it. I can't right now. Well, okay, so I started with the meth is real because it was on this Levi guy, and I thought that's what he was going with, and that autocorrect tried fixing it until I realized the whole thing. I probably should have read. Sometimes you need to read the comment before you just start reading it, but I don't. Most people don't. Billy Boy Story says, I need to figure out what Joe pre-orders I want to cancel. Too many dropping August 1st. I think this is the second year in a row that I've said, you know what? Don't drop everything at the end of the year. And 2 years in a row they did it, and I feel like this is the worst. This is way worse than the past 2 years. And if you're a Marvel Legends fan, and I'm assuming I don't buy Star Wars, but I buy a lot of Marvel Legends. That October 1st is awful, and November 1st or 2nd, whatever one it is, isn't much better. So. But here you are. Again, we can see that Invincible's coming. Thrag is coming. Matthew says, are they trying to compete with Jada? You can't mix and match Super 7 with anything. And normally I would agree, but since these are all cartoon based, and because Alan is a very large figure, I'm thinking you might be able to. And maybe they will surprise us. Maybe that articulation will be better. I have a hard time believing that. This is truly one of those things where I'd have to have one in hand or see a reviewer, not just take someone's word for it, and see that they actually made it so it's nearly as articulated as the Jada. It's not going to be. I already know it's not. Hi, it's me says, well, in 3 years when they go on sale for a reasonable price, maybe we can find out if they work with the Jada versions. Yes. But I think what is funny about this is Super 7, 7-inch scale, fully articulated with accessory. Super 7 is very smart in their wording to make sure they say accessory and not accessories. They make sure to tell you that there's only one. So there's no extra head sculpt. There's no extra hands. Like, they're not giving you any more. And that's, again, one of those things that it's, It's bad. And Billy Boys, I only own one Super 7 figure and I love it. The Ultimate Cobra Bat. Yeah, I disagree. But hey, if you like it, that's awesome. The bat that I have absolutely sucks. And you cannot fit it in with classified, even though people think that you can. So, no, exactly. That again. Yes. And again, their legal team is really smart. So there you go with that. All right, Factory Entertainment. I know some of you guys are going, who the fuck is Factory Entertainment? Oh, we said that a few months ago when they showed us stuff from Battlestar Galactica. And they are the ones that are giving us Magnum PI and Airwolf. So this is the Magnum PI. It looks like he has no D on his hat, which I guess that would mean that you didn't get the rights for the Old English D. I think I'd much rather them not put the Old English D on than put a different D on, because he always wore the Detroit Tigers D, which is the Old English D. Maybe you guys don't know that. Rather than try and, put a different D on so people think that, oh, hey, it's the Detroit Tigers. I don't know how you can trademark an Old English D, but I guess if that is your logo, you're not going to, you're not going to try and do that. But this is Magnum PI to a T. This is 3.75. So before anyone asks, these are not 6-inch figures. 3.75. Again, there is a market for 3.75 in the 1/18 scale, but it's not as big as the 6-inch scale right now. Tony's Figs jumping in here saying, what up, Larry, Matthew, and chat. Ooh, Ed, man, he stayed the night in our fucking room 2 years ago. We fucking paid for him to stay at Joe, and he can't even say hi to you, Ed. Ooh, man. And he says hi to the guy that won't even go to Joe Fest. Ed, if I were you, I would be pissed off that Tony can't even say hi to you. I have no idea if Ed is still here. Three-star says old English 800, because that's my brand. Taken in a bottle. Okay, that was way more than I knew. He was here. He's probably talking to his girlfriend right now. So I don't know. All right. Then we get the Magnum. I'm sorry, the Miami Vice. Now this is our Crockett, not Tubbs. I still have an issue with Tubbs. He in real life he beat his girlfriend and stuff. Although this guy, he wasn't too much better. He had his own. I think he had his own issues also. Did he not? But anyway, if you want a Crockett and Tubbs, you will get this version if you are into the 1/18 scale, along with a pistol and his badge. Again, more accessories than what Super 7 will give you. He probably doesn't, but he was here earlier. I can tell you that much. But you weren't here earlier, so what are you talking about? Joe Fan jumping in here. What's up? How are you doing? And then we get the $6 Million Man, which I don't think that I had seen anything. Oh, I don't think we had seen anything for the $6 Million Man. We've seen the other ones. Not the first time that we've got a $6 Million Man product, but let's be honest. If the $6 Million Man, if I can't look through the back of his head and see through the eye, is it really a $6 Million Man toy? And quickly here, Ed jumping in here saying, sup, Tony, I knew you just wanted to greet me separately because I'm special. Tread lightly. Anyway. And then we do have Airwolf. These figures are going to look really good. This Airwolf is going to be really good. And I guess there is still some competition in that 118 scale, right? There are some people that still want to put out some bangers of vehicles, some bangers of figures. They are looking better. These are not O-rings. These are like modern 3.75. It does make me ask the question of why you do 3.75 modern and not just 4-inch modern. As we know, that's what like the G.I. Joes are. But to each their own. I don't have a problem mixing and matching them. Maybe it just has to do with the vehicles. You can fit the legs in a little bit better. You don't have to create too much. And then you can fit all the O-rings with it too. So Tony says, "You're special ed." Of course, he meant you are, and he said "your," but whatever. All right. Mezco, they dropped this big Kingpin, which I believe is $140. Someone else tell me because I can't fucking see it because you know it's right there. This thing does look really good. You have that Punisher in the back, which I may or may not have bought. I totally bought it. I did not buy this because I was not interested in that. I wasn't interested in spending this much on a giant Kingpin. I will wait for, Marvel Legends to drop one when I'm ready for it. Okay, 3-star says one thing. It's right up there. It's right there, but I can't see it because it says live. So I know that it is there. Hi, it's me says the Airwolf is cool, but I gotta draw the line. Draw the line somewhere. I barely watched that show. I did not like. I like Blue Thunder more, and I also believe that any helicopter that Murdoch would have flown, they would have found a way to suit it up to shoot down an Airwolf. Just my own personal opinion. All right. And let's see here. We got it's Jay Gonzo jumping in here saying APWT and gents, what's up? How are you? So if you are interested in a very expensive Kingpin, Mezco got this for you. And again, I have a love-hate relationship with Mezco. I think I would hate that Spider-Man. That totally looks like a Spider-Man from the 70s that we had. But we understand what you're actually getting with the Mezco. I just don't think that really looks that great there. But here you go. If you're like, I need to fit a big bulky guy into my Marvel Legends collection or my Marvel collection, here you go. Because this will give you a lot more options of things to do. As you can see here, he is beating up the Punisher that I spent way too much money on. I know they do, but I wasn't collecting Marvel Legends. Oh, I wasn't as into it as I was now, is all that I'm saying. But yes, I know there have been many Kingpins. But if you want one with soft goods that looks as good as this one, and white is always great because it doesn't get dirty or anything. Tim Brower says Blue Thunder was cool, but no missiles. Airwolf would blow it up. I agree with you now, but as a kid, I always like. I actually still like Blue Thunder more, but I fully agree with you that Airwolf is a much better technologically better fighter than Blue Thunder. But I always like Blue Thunder more. So, but here you go. If you want Kingpin, he is available at BBTS. Entertainment Earth has it. It'll be free shipping at Entertainment Earth, so you don't have to worry about that. And they get stuff fairly quick with some of the stuff. So there you go. There's all the different heads. I still can't figure out what that last head is. I went through the shots. What is the last head here? Like, what is on it? Because I can't figure out what it was. And none of the pictures seem to have whatever that was on it. Then you have different hands. I would be shocked if this big bulky figure, if this actual flight stand will hold it up. But there you go. And then here's the weapons that he does come with. So he's got his cane, he's got the sword, different smoke, watch, little blast effect. And those blast effects are definitely different than will fit in a regular 1/12 scale, so you know. It's the vagina head. We actually saw the vagina head on the on the McFarlane Red Lantern Corps. Oh, he has pink eye. That does make sense then. Post-surgery eye. Post-eye surgery. Did he have, again, I don't know the story. All right, Marvel Legends. This re-release of Mysterio and a few other figures. Now, this is what I'm gonna say. If you need this figure, then pick it up. It seems like a lot of these re-releases that they do, they come out with a new version of it shortly after. So if you don't feel you need this right now, then I would just hold off and wait. I would just hold off and wait on it, only because Marvel Legends tends to like, hey, here's a re-release of this, but then they drop another one, and they recently did it with Doom. So if you missed out on this and you're like, hey, I need this one, go ahead and pick it up. Okay. All right. So yeah, it is after his eye surgery, it looks like. Matthew just sent it to me. I couldn't figure out what the hell it was. And I looked at it numerous times and I'm like, all right, there's no pictures with it. So that is the eye surgery. Okay, Marvel's Beast. All right, so this thing is sold out everywhere. Amazon took forever for it to go up. I mean, days before they put it up there. This is sold out on Entertainment Earth. It is on the wait list for BBTS. Amazon sold out as, I don't know, within that day. I would assume Nerdzoic is probably sold out. This will probably be it'll probably be available once it hits. But yeah. And as you are not wrong, says this sold out, no one wanted it. I listen to everyone complain about it and say that the other Professor Beast was better, but you're right, this one sold out extremely fast, and I'm sorry. I think it looks good. I do have it on order. X-Men 97 is one that I can't say I'm all in because I refuse to buy that basketball one, so I find it on cheap clearance. But this is meant for the X-Men 97 show, and I think it looks good. Matthew is already criticizing it, but yeah, I like it. But this might be one of those ones that shoots up in price. Ooh, look at this. Toy Optics says this body is perfect for flocking. You know what? I might have to see if one of my friends can flock it. That would actually be pretty damn cool. Itchy Gonzo says, I've learned if no one wants it, I'm buying it because it will sell out. That is a good fucking rule of thumb. Probably better rule of thumb is to buy a few of them and then turn around and sell it for double because no one wanted it. Yet on eBay, it's going for way more. I'm just saying. Muse and Bullseye. MC Armada says, what the flock are you talking about? Now you guys really got me wondering if basically I'm wondering if Ed, my moderator, can flock it. I'm just saying it. And Ed says the hardest will be finding the right blue. Well, you have time to figure out if you can find the right blue. I'm just saying. Baldylocks says, who's flocking? Who's flocking it? I want one, and let's do one green for Tony. We don't need to do one green for Tony because we already he already has his flocked. He always has his flocked masterpiece. There are other Mossman that we could flock for Tony though. But yeah. But anyway, if you don't want this figure, great, because it's sold out. You're not getting it. If you wanted it and you missed it, well, you should be watching more like Toy Tubers. They tell you when the stuff is going out. Toy Optic says Punk is going to ask his friend, "Hey, can you flock this for me?" Can I what? No, he's already there. Look, Tony's like, yes, please, yes. More flocked stuff for me. So anyway, there you go. Is it worth $40? Is the $40 price point acceptable? Probably not. Why does he have that walking droid from Star Wars, half of him on his back? I don't know, but he does. He does. So, but if you want it, just wait. It'll probably come available. But I do have a feeling that this might be one of those ones that, it doesn't. You don't find it for too long at the regular price. So, all right. And Steven says, funny that does look like that. Dude, it's as soon as I saw it, I was like, it's a total, yes, the Gonk droid, right? You can't not see it once it's pointed out. I was like, why is he carrying it? Was he blown apart like C-3PO? All right. Big Bad Workshop. This company likes to take our money. And they do a really good job of it. They dropped their NPCs. Now, I believe that some of these will only be available during the launch pad. And I believe that is all of those unlocked figures. I believe that they are only available during this pre-order. So, looking at these figures here, you're going to get the Mob Boss. Now, everything has already been unlocked. Now, I want to start by saying I've listened, or I've seen people post on Facebook saying this is a Kickstarter. Why are they kickstarting it? Let me explain something to you. What they are doing is they're gauging how much people really want this. Now, I guess technically they are doing unlocks when they hit a certain amount. But for these people that sit there and say, well, this is just like a Kickstarter or the way they're doing it, I'll buy the Valaverse stuff. If I buy something from the Valaverse site, they're actually taking my money and I'm not getting that product for 5-6 months. This here, I'm not spending any money. So you decide what is more like a Kickstarter. Because to me, giving someone my money and I'm waiting 6 months before they go up, or 5 months or whatever, that is more like a Kickstarter, because I can't just cancel the order and I still keep my money. This here, I can cancel at any time. I don't lose anything. But they were able to unlock everything. So the Mob Boss obviously has a completely new buck here. He has a scarred head. They also give you the other head here, a sawed-off shotgun, wine glass, and wine bottle. these are all new accessories. We get these new money bags here. Suitcase is going to be the same, but it looks like actually the inserts are still the same. New cane, new hands, brass knuckles. We get a cigar, and then we get these little chase mob cats. This is the one I think. This is one of the biggest ones I think that we're going to get. We've seen in the cases that they do have mob henchmen that are going to be coming afterwards. So now Devil Dog is saying no. Headman is already coming, I believe, to Joe. Right? I think they've already announced that Headman is coming. But someone did mention that this looks a lot like Eckard from the original Batman. I think I was watching. I think it was Joe ARH last night. I think he said that this looks a lot like Eckard from either him or yes. I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, who Joe was on with. Yes. Anyway, it's going to drive me nuts. But anyway, someone will tell me exactly who it is. But either way, yes, it's exactly what they said. Think about the future. Then he gets shot. He dies. I can see that. And then with Batman coming to a 6-inch form via Mattel, this is going to work perfectly with it. I think that this is going to be one of the big sellers for them. Now, my understanding is this will be available even after this launch. We get the first cheerleader. She's got a new water bottle, some sort of chips. She has the cell phone, the megaphone, new hand pom. It looks like the pom-poms are actual hands. So you don't have to worry about trying to fit them in there. They are going to have different face sculpts that swap out. Now, it looks like these are hair piece. Like this is an actual pullback hair. I think. I could be wrong though. But the bonus accessory just has like some flat hair. This is one of those things where someone else, they talked about this last night too, that all the hair is blowing, and I don't think you're going to want it always blowing. So that's going to be, I would assume they're going to do some sort of accessory pack, but they're going to give you like this little gym bag or pom-pom bag or whatever. Again, it's already been unlocked. These are all $36.99. Now, one of my biggest issues is, okay, so Matthew says there is a ponytail. Okay. So the price point, I do believe, is a little high. Now, they are giving you a lot of accessories. There's a lot of different things that you're going to get with this. But for unnamed characters and background characters, and I mean, these truly are background characters. I mentioned it before that the Valaverse figures, they're not background characters. They're unnamed thugs. That's really what they are. Fully taken. I mean, the idea was completely taken from what Shartimus was trying to do with Street Humans. And I'm not saying that he won't do other background characters, but these are actual background characters that you would, that you're going to find out in the world, right? I look at his things at a much lower price point, but they're unnamed thugs in my opinion, where these are things like, hey, I can have cheerleaders in the background. You can do different shots with these things. And I think this is what people want the cheerleaders for. The mob guy, that just kind of sells itself, right? We've seen different videos that have been done with what Mezco here, like this right here. Like Mezco's done the stuff and it does well. So
who is it? It's me, Snakes. I got the figures. Leave them on the doorstep and get the hell out of here. All right, Johnny, but what about my money? What money? Action said 10%. Too bad Action ain't in charge no more. What do you mean? He's upstairs taking a bath. He'll call you when he gets out. Hey, I'll tell you what I'm gonna give you, Snakes. I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister over to a Punk with Toys punkathon before I pump your guts full of lead. All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going. 1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I just wanted to play that because I need a break. But you can see like people like the mob stuff. So there'll be a lot of different things that you can do with these different things. So this one was unlocked. This is the team captain. And you can already see there's different hair colors. So you're going to be able to create a whole cheerleading squad. I know everyone is looking at this as Hector. But you look at those accessories there, and it almost looks like this is from the newsroom. So a lot of new things here. We know everyone wants this. We know why everyone wants this. This is mixes with G.I. Joe, Transformers, Gem. This guy was the glue that is kind of holds some of these properties together. He has the Joe Fest lanyard. He has a piece of pizza. Obviously has a microphone. I'm assuming, well, I can't imagine that those donuts are the same ones that came with Chatsworth because those were really, really large. But when you look at the accessories, there's a baseball bat, hand grenade. We have the brass knuckles. We have stick of dynamite. Now, these are things that we've already gotten, but it's almost like there's another news team that may have actually used some of these. And then we have Malareth jumping in here. I think you got that right. The anchor could double for a precinct detective. It could, and then they already have so many characters. I mean, these aren't new. These aren't new bucks. That's the thing. But you're absolutely right. And we'll see as there's a few more. Again, what I want to say about the $26.99 or the $36.99 price point, I do think it is pretty high for what is supposed to be background characters. When you get to the Hector Ramirez, I guess I definitely understand the reason why they're doing it, and they're smart to do so. We get the SWAT commander, all new weapons. Now, my question would be, do they use these weapons in SWAT? The shotgun, probably, with that, all it has is the handle for the pump action, but I'm not sure about the assault rifle there. I'm not sure if that is what they used in SWAT or not. Usually you see some sort of M4. Gridiron's usually pretty good about this stuff. Bill, he has said, hey, I am not like a weapons guy. So I take pride when someone says, we're doing these soldiers right. These commandos right. With their weapons and everything. That's my only question that I would ask is this actually what the SWAT is doing? Now, this is going to go good with your G.I. Joe figures, if you have those ones. This one is fully kitted up as a SWAT guy. The police officers from Hasbro, from the G.I. Joe Classified, they're kind of a mix. They're like half SWAT, half regular police officers, but you also understand, what they're trying to do, what you're trying to get out of it. You do get a lot of stuff, a lot of different hands, different face swaps. Now you have the bonus accessories that are also locked into it. We have the radios, the different shotgun shells, what looks like an all new plate carrier. We still have the stupid shoulder pauldrons that just going to get tossed right away. So Matthew is saying accessory packs have Tom Selleck and Eddie Murphy's heads. Okay, so here's the first accessory. All right, so this is Matthew saying Eddie Murphy. And I can see it. I think I'd have to zoom in a little bit more, but I can definitely see. And it wouldn't be the first time that they did that. And I have a feeling we're going to see more, especially as we move on and we see the final figure here. A completely new shotgun. We got the battering ram here, another megaphone, the flask, which is interesting. We've had the SWAT, so we've had this shield before. I believe the handcuffs are new for them, and obviously the new hat, the police officer's hat here. So this is the only thing I would say about them is they come off really easily, but I'm kind of with you. Their shoulder pauldrons are actually better than most of the other ones, but for the most part, they come right off. So as long as they're not tied into it, yeah. I can see that it's I can see the Eddie Murphy to a point. But different enough where they don't have to worry about like a lawsuit. This one here, Tom Selleck. I can see where you kind of get the idea, but I'm not so sure. Now, their stuff is actually pretty spot on when they're showing you the digital renders, but who knows? It could change. But this would work for Blue Bloods, which would make me really, really happy because I think most of you know I absolutely love that show. And now it's Boston Blue. Okay, so Andrew Taylor says Tom Selleck from the Future Cop movie with Gene Simmons. Do you know what that movie is called? Because I fucking do. I'm going to let anyone... Does anyone know the Tom Selleck Future Cop movie with Gene Simmons in it? It has these little spider droids. Oh, you actually knew it. You Runaway. Why don't you fucking just say Runaway? My mom loved Tom Selleck. So Blue Bloods is no longer a show. It is now called Boston Blue, and Wahlberg has moved to Boston because that's where his son is now a police officer, and now he is a Boston detective, no longer with New York. Yes, and it is Runaway. You are absolutely correct. I thought I was the only person that ever fucking saw that movie. I was wrong, and I'm so glad that I'm wrong. And it has like these fly. I think they flew, but they're like these mechanical spider. They don't look like spiders, so that's why I didn't bother me. They just have like 8 little mechanical legs and everything. It's pretty weird. Right now, I'm jumping in and saying, "What's up, Larry? Hello, chat." All right. So here you go with this. No, you don't know. No, of course you're supposed to say it. But Andrew said it after when Andrew said Tom Selleck from the Future Cop movie, I was wondering if he didn't know what it was because he didn't say Tom Selleck from Runaway. Oh, see, I don't remember bothering me because they didn't look like spiders. But maybe I have to go back and rewatch it, and maybe they do look more like spiders. Anyway, all right. So here's this. So this is the launch pad. Now, I'm not positive on this. You'd have to go back and look, but I think that once it was unlocked, it changes, and you don't see exactly what it was. And I asked Bill if these are going to be available after, and he said if it says like at launch or something, No, hold on. Let me see exactly what he said here, because I specifically asked him, and then of course I forgot because um he says if it says Launchpad campaign exclusive on the image, it'll only be available during the campaign window. You can waitlist them after, but it's up in the air. So the waitlist obviously means that if it gets canceled. Um, so I'm not sure if these are going to be available after, because I think once you ordered it, like it kind of that went away because you've now ordered it. So I would just say if you want these, grab them now, because the one thing about the BBTS stuff, the Big Bad Workshop stuff, is once it goes, it's kind of gone. It goes up in price. M. Hatfield saying, "Don't forget bullets that shot around corners." I don't remember. Oh wait! Oh, that's right. I take that back. That's right. That was Gene Simmons' big thing, is that his bullet shot around corners. That's right. Holy shit! Oh man, Kirstie Alley was in it too. That's right. That's who Tom Selleck was trying to protect. Oh man, dude. Okay, now I feel like I gotta rewatch it. It's been a long time. McFly jumping in here, and we got Kudu's Garage saying, "Yo, punk." Damn it! Now I need to go see this. Dirty Knives says, "Wave 2, soccer mom, construction worker, and EMC, please." Well, I think we're gonna see more. We're gonna start seeing more women from them for sure. Here is another SWAT operator. Now, I don't know if you really want to change the gun. I don't think SWATs need this big white piece. Like, hey, look, here we are. But if you want one, now these are all now $29.99. Again, to me, it would have been nice had they went with $29.99 for the basic figure, and then maybe $25 for all these ones that don't have as many accessories. But if you're BBTS, I guess you are looking at it as, even though they're not named characters, we are giving you just as many accessories, maybe even more. Now, the other thing that the Big Bad Workshop stuff has been notorious for is actually when you get a figure, they've added accessories that weren't in the original solicitation. I don't know if they're going to do that with this. You can see there's not nearly as many hands, which I'm perfectly fine with. I'm fine with extra hands, but eventually you just have too many hands. So, Todd C says, "So who's using this for their Debbie Does Dallas display?" Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. I know Debbie Does Dallas. I don't remember anything about it though. So here we have the cheerleader. She has her cell phone and her pom-poms. But you can use those other pieces for other things. Now we get to this one. Now this was the last unlock, and I did reach out and nobody answered me. I actually reached out to Bill, and he did not answer me. And I said, "Are we going to get heads for the rest of the newsroom?" Now, if you don't know, this is Ron Burgundy. He literally has a burgundy suit on. You have the trident. Brick. I think you killed someone. You might want to lay low for a little bit. He has the hand grenade. You remember Brick had the hand grenade and the trident. The pistol. The pistol was used by the Panther dude. Can't think of his name. So yes, Dirty Knives. I love Lamp. So this truly went from Dorothy Mantooth was a saint. Yes, Brian Fontana. Thank you. We can do this all night, guys. It kind of stings the nostrils. I can tell you, me and my old best friend and my ex, my kid's mother, well before we had kids, We went and saw this at the movie theater. And as we were watching this, and especially when they start calling Veronica from his office, we had tears in our eyes. And I remember looking at Susan, my kid's mother. I remember looking at Susan, and she did not find it funny at all. Now, over time, she learned to enjoy this movie. But from the moment we saw it at the movie theater, holy shit, I thought this was one of the funniest movies ever. Now, again, if you are not a Will Ferrell fan, you are not going to enjoy this. Again, I don't know how you can't enjoy this because it is so awesome. But when they get into when they get to the back alley fight and all the different comedians show up, man, it is so fucking good. Anchorman was well before I had kids. Not before Susan had kids. My oldest, who is her daughter, yes. But my oldest is 20. So, yes. But this here, you can tell they are giving us the newsroom. So if you want the newsroom, I have a feeling we're going to get all the characters for that. And I'm all for it, man. And they better they better also give us like the chicken that's a bat, because that, I know that's from the second one, but and we better get a Veronica Corningstone too. So anyway, if you didn't realize it, they are doing Ron Burgundy, and I have a feeling we will see the rest of them. So, well, they haven't done Ron Burgundy. That's not the Ron Burgundy head. So I'm expecting a Will Ferrell head elsewhere on either another character or in a head pack. Just my feelings on it. Again, look at the stuff they're giving us. So there you go. Now, the one thing I did forget to mention is Skeletron. Skeletron will be dropping their Siberia figure this Thursday. So if you are interested, it goes up for pre-order, not pre-order. I think it's in stock. They were saying like they were expecting it. So I think it is in stock along with the other figure, which is probably going to be one of the figures of the year. It's so good. Hey, look at Roman. But there you go. So that will be available. Order it after I order mine so I can make sure I get mine. I'm sure they'll have enough. All right, on to G.I. Joe. And we're going to get through this pretty quickly because there's really not too much to discuss here. But there is some stuff. And we'll start out with Super 7 here. And they're doing these comic packs. And I like what they're doing. Now, I have my issues with Super 7. I think most of you know that. Their paint should be better. They should have swivel wrists. And I don't care. I hope that as many of you people from the Super 7 website or Super 7 Facebook page are watching, these figures should have wrist articulation. Stop with your bullshit of the original figures didn't have it. These shouldn't either. The original figures had straight arms. Does that make you mad that Hasbro changed it? Original figures, they didn't have the ball joint on the head sculpt so they can look down. Do you wish they still went side to side? And that was it. Also, your argument fails because, well, the paint for the face was actually molded in the plastic. So you wouldn't have to worry about having painted faces. But you guys don't seem to fucking bitch about that shit. So stop saying this, well, I want it to be aesthetically the same. You don't even notice that it has a fucking wrist articulation. But it goes back to what I have said numerous times, and I will continue to say it over and over and over, is that most of these people are G.I. Joe collectors, not toy collectors. And I know this because many of them don't know what Delta 17 is, Operation Recall is, And if you go and you look at Operation Recall, it is a continuation of what G.I. Joe was supposed to be. And they have wrist articulation. They have more accessories. So, there you go. Now, back to what I think about this. I do like this. And yes, I did order it. I know Matthew had his things to say. Do I think they're overpriced? Yes, I do for what they give you. Now, I don't think that this is awful because they're giving you the comic. Number two, they're giving you a Snake Eyes that has never been done before. It is based in this the same way that they did with issue number 1. The new gun, clearly it's kind of like they're pointing at another figure that they might be doing, along with the backpack and the little skull necklace. And we have Todd White jumping in here saying, "Yo, Joe." Toy Optics saying, "Now Punk wrist articulation would add $199 to each arm." Yes. That's right, Ronnie. Larry's bitching about bitches again. That's absolutely correct. So I think this is a nice idea. This is a BBTS exclusive. It is available. Well, it is live right now. I'm not sure when BBTS is getting it. If you order it from Super 7 and pay their arm and leg for shipping, you will get it. Although I've seen people already get it and they don't have the comic book in it. They don't have the comic book in it. Good job, Super 7. You had one fucking job. All right. But Super 7, say what you want. They are giving people what so many people said they wanted, and that is O-ring figures and newer O-ring, not just repenning. And I think this is one of the places when Hasbro decided to relaunch G.I. Joe that this is where they failed. They just tried giving you the same figures that you already had, just already completely resculpted. But the exact same figures. Where at least Super 7 is saying, let's give you new characters and new figures that you've never had. And as we can see here, they are actually giving us some really new things. So we have Flint. Now, here he is. He has his shotgun. He has his backpack. I did see somebody mention that I waited 40 years for this Flint, which made me in my head say, you've waited 40 years to get a fucking worse Flint than what they gave us in the 80s. I guess good for you. So, to the people that say they don't want wrist articulation, I just want to say, you don't have a problem with painting that fucking face. You don't think that Hasbro, when they used to do it and they actually molded in the color of the actual skin tone, that was better? Because you made a difference there. So you can give us fucking wrist articulation because it's fucking better. I hate not having wrist articulation. I just assume these people can't fucking pose a figure to save their goddamn life. All right? Like, seriously. They're probably just fucking sitting there like this. Like, they think like fucking pointing a fucking gun up. Oh, fuck. Anyway, I got to get off it. Yes, wrist articulation is very important. Okay, first off, it does not have good. Okay, man, you're gonna piss me off here. I'm surprised you hate the Ultimates Cobra Bat so much. Punk, good articulation and cool. Okay, first off, mine was fucking broken right off the bat. It was missing an accessory, and it doesn't have good articulation because I have the fucking classified one, which is 10 times fucking better. That articulation is awful. It is super fucking loose. Those things just fucking collapse. It is fucking shit. All right, I'm sorry. Ooh, sorry. It is, yeah. My blood pressure, like always, like that, to be 100% honest. Aces Place 22 jumping in here saying Punk says president of Aces Army. I know that I have never seen this before. You may be someone else, but
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
I didn't say that you said it was better than, but it has shit articulation. Like the articulate, like it is awful. You can like it more. All right. I would never listen. You can like something more, but it has awful articulation. Every Ultimate has had bad articulation. I think someone said the new Turtles have some because they have double elbows and double knees. They have shit. Anyway. Whew. Yes, Matthew, the only one who can make Super 7 Ultimates look good is Emerald Knight. I'm with you. All right, so anyway, you're getting this Flint. They're doing this snake armor. Now, I'm really interested in this. And I'm sure Super 7 will not make it, so the accessories will be swappable. Now, it already looks like the arm's a little bit shorter. I don't have a snake armor anymore. Now, will this be more expensive than $25? Probably. Probably. But I don't have a snake armor anymore. Now, I know what people are going to say. This is supposed to be based on the cartoon. My issue is there is hardly any paint on this. Like, the stuff should not look better in the 80s than what it does now. Now, I understand there is a difference. I understand that. But there should be better paint and sculpt. And I actually had the discussion with Terry, and Terry said the sculpts on the original G.I. Joes weren't that good, and I'm going to disagree. Start looking at the stuff that they sculpted into it. It was it was good. Like, they put in a lot of things that we did not realize. But they're giving you this. There's a new shipwreck. Now, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I have to have a different shipwreck to go on the USS Flag. Am I going to get 8 of them? 8 times 25. That's too much for Super 7. Matthew, I told Terry, I'm like, you might want to go look at it again, because doing all those classic reviews, I started seeing all the detail that they put into it. Stuff that I didn't, I know you did, Matthew. Stuff I didn't realize, and most didn't realize when we were kids because we were just playing with the stuff. But they put so much detail into that original stuff. So, well, it's not out yet here. This was, I believe that stuff was overseas, but it's going to be, it's going to be showing up really soon. Probably at Target right now. But yes, now, does it open up? I don't know. So here's a shipwreck. I like this idea of the shipwreck, a little bit different here. I got to get at least one of these for my flag, which I think you guys knew. This Jinx here, it looks like some sort of Tiger Force. I literally says Tiger Force on it. She has a shotgun. So basically she comes with Falcon's weapons. She kicked Falcon and took Falcon's shit. And then we have a Snow Baroness. And here's a better look at it. She has a muffin top. This right here, when I look at a figure like this, I go, this is exactly why I say I will not buy a Super 7 sight unseen. Now, I mean, I've broken that rule a few times. But because some of these I think do look pretty good. I don't think this one looks that good. It's nice that they're getting a Baroness and a different style Baroness. I just don't think this one looks really good, to be honest. Toy Optic says, I never notice detail when I'm playing with this. It's like, whoa. Whoa. These are a lot of veins. Hyper Scout says Falcon was eaten alive at Cobra Law. I'm just trying to get away from that. So Todd White says maybe Super 7 will make Globulus because it doesn't look like Hasbro is going to do shit. What are you talking about? With an O-ring? They may do an O-ring version of it. But I don't know what you mean by Hasbro isn't going to do shit. I mean, they're doing all of Coprolon classified from the looks of it. Listen, I know what I'm going to expect from Spec. All right, classified. They did drop some new file cards, which I know people really do enjoy. So here's some file cards here. We get the Grim Viper, which I got to tell you right now, if you do get Deep Six, the Grim Viper, Gatling gun, or Roblox or whoever, it fits on Deep Six really well. I've taken a couple pictures with it, so you can use that. We get the mainframe, Blaine. I'm sorry, it's Blake. Blaine L. Parker. He is from Phoenix, Arizona, so Tony thinks he's really cool. I think it's cool because he's short. You get your sci-fi. And then we get Wetsuit with his little underwater gun. So I really do hope that they go back and they do file cards for every single character that they have created. I know that a lot of people are printing these up, I'm sure, probably in some nice thick cardstock. And they go from there. Yes. I'm not sure where. They show up all over the place. I think if you go to the G.I. Joe website or you go to the Facebook page, you can find them. Matthew will probably tell you exactly where. Todd C says these poses are weird. Like these? I mean, I think the Grim Viper is really weird. This looks like Mainframe is trying to give a sexy pose to Zarana. Sci-fi, he just looks fine. But I do see what you're saying. All right. So this just popped up, and of course, there's actually more pictures over on Toy News International. So I saw this from Rocco the Great, but it comes from Kilian, I guess. And this is the first look at Laura Croft. Now, if you go to Toy News International, don't go there right now. You can go afterwards. They showed all of these things, or they showed all these figures. And I got to say, this looks really, really good. That face sculpt is really good. I think they nailed it. This is, again, okay, so Matthew says the Hasbro employee who wrote them posts them every Friday. Okay, but I know they're elsewhere. If you go to Toy News International, I know they post them when they get it. And 3-star says they nailed the side boob. Okay, so there's the artwork. There's the 5L card. You're not getting away from the 5L. We all know that we would like it if they didn't, but let's be honest, this is what they're going to do. And then we got this. No one wants this. No one wants this. It's a Target exclusive. I know. They've just canceled the pre-order. Stuffelench says, blame the home of the stool makers. Nothing happens in Blaine. Long live Corky, waiting for Guffman. So we have seen actual in-hand pictures of these figures. Jinx is supposed to be showing skin, so that is supposed to be her. That is supposed to be her leg, like skin on her leg. The picture that went around, I know Baldy pointed it out that it does not look like it is skin, like flesh color, but at least it's supposed to be. Now, all the accessories are reused, other than the masks. Other than the masks and her little, I don't know, crow outfit or that she puts over. Obviously Snake Eyes has had all of these weapons other than the nunchucks, which came with a few other characters, and these are all the Storm Shadow's weapons. Jinx was never in Ninja Force, but it only makes sense that she would be part of Ninja Force. And then we get the Snake Eyes with the blue and the gray grenades. I think they both look really good. I actually think when you start looking at this Jinx and you compare and put her in with your Dawn Moreno, you're going to have an awesome looking duel. Much better than what Jinx looks like. The other Jinx, the first Jinx. Obviously, this is Jinx. I think these two look really good together. And Scarlet is, I'm not a huge fan of the Scarlet sculpt, to be 100% honest. Quickly, Carlos says that Laura Croft figure is making me very thankful for wrist articulation. So anyway, here we go. When you're looking at this again, I like this. I'm gonna say, if you want it, grab it. And the best thing to do is try and get it on Hasbro Pulse and then jump over to Target right away and hit it there. And then go out on the day that it drops and see if they have it. And then if it doesn't, then go to fucking Canada and see if you can pick it up in Canada. And then just turn around and, sell it for double the price. Because that's probably what it's going to do. 3-star says Helix will look good with them too. She'll probably get adopted into Ninja Force before it's over with. Nothing that I've heard of. There is more. There's at least one more Ninja Force coming. Okay. And then the Snowcat, which we've already discussed here. Again, you already had to order it. Here's everything that you're going to get with it. We get the Snowcat. It is bigger than what people realized. That made a lot of people mad because they said, it didn't need to be that big. Shut the fuck up. You're just mad that you didn't want to fucking pay for it. And that's fine. You didn't have to pay for it. You just don't get it. It's that simple. I will. Don't worry. I will in a second. I gotta go to the bathroom soon. Hi, it's me says, did they think it was an O-ring just painting a clothing sculpt flesh color? That's very bad. I said the O-rings were like that. So anyway, here's a couple pictures of the Snowcat again. Everyone should be getting their FedEx within, I don't know, the next month. I can't imagine it going much longer. Here's the size of this thing, 21 inches long. It is almost 11 inches high and almost 11 inches wide. This thing's going to take up a lot of space. Why'd I order two? I don't know. But it looks like it's going to come in handy having that second one. Here it is, all broken apart, everything that you get with it. I'm assuming that we're not going to have the issue with the rocket system breaking off like the original. The lights are USB, so you can have them on all the time. But I also believe that it's battery powered too. So if it's battery powered, it means you will still be able to take it out into the snow. that would only make sense, but I love the fact that it is USB, so you can have it on all the time, because I wish I could do that with my Dragonfly and the Hiss and the Rattler. There's our ice tray. This really bothers a lot of people. I know people are going to start seeing photography of it. They're going to say it's really cool. Just remember, you all hated it. I'm being very passive aggressive today. Frostbite. He has his classic M16 with his big giant scope. They gave him a thermistor so he can keep his coffee nice and hot, or his hot cocoa. Got his pistol. I think this is a really good one, and you can already see how they've made it so they can do a classic version later on down the road. Lego Star Wars Kid says, I don't want my snowcat until I see some snow on the ground. I'm okay with the snowcat coming. I don't want the Arctic Hiss till I see snow on the ground, because I don't want to pay for it. Snowcat's already paid for, so you can give it to me. Lady J, here is her auger, her fishing pole, her different javelins. She doesn't come with any guns, though, which that's okay. I have guns for her. And then we have the bivouac, which I know there were certain people that were really mad about this. Why would you have an open tent in the Arctic? I don't know, because it's a goddamn fucking toy. That's why. But we get all the stuff for the bivouac, which is pretty much saying, guess what? We will eventually get a bivouac station, because they give you everything. It would have been cool if that little flame had a little light on it, but I believe they already showed that you can light it up by putting like a little light underneath it. So I would be I'll be happy when we get the regular one too. And then we get Flint with his shotgun, his XMLR pistol, his different sausages, sausage for his girlfriend, his eggs, his coffee mug. Again, if you don't think they're going to reuse these bucks and make all kinds of snow troopers, so all the people that go, hey, they're almost out of characters, they're not even close. They haven't even begun to scratch the surface of characters, because they have all these Arctic characters that they can create. Ultramesh says, this is your brain. Dude, those commercials were awesome. Yeah. Tim Brower says, Boo Punk Cobra needs hardware to take care of Joe Vermins. Well, I mean, are you talking about the Arctic Kiss? I just don't want it right now. But there you go. That is everything. Her eggs, his sausage. Okay, that is the first time I've heard that. So anyway, there you go. There's a lot of jokes there. So, and that is it. That is it. Hey, buddy. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about the topic and what would happen to the channel if classified went away. But what I am going to quickly do is I'm going to play something to give myself a quick breather. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to talk about the channel and what I might change or what I might not change if I was to start a YouTube channel right now.
And now back to Cobra News Now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have received word that our field correspondent, Scrap Iron, is on scene at Mars Industries, and he has interviewed a few eyewitnesses and forwarded those statements over to us as he tries to get closer for a better vantage point on the fire. So let's take a listen to these eyewitness statements and see if we can discover what has happened here tonight.
All right, so I'm out here just ripping this mini ramp that's made by Mars Industries. Don't ask, I don't understand why they sponsored it. But anyway, I hear this huge explosion, and I hear all these people yelling and screaming that this thing's on fire, and they tell me to call 911, so I call 911. We got the ESU police here, and we got the firefighters, and wait a minute, don't you work for Mars Industry and the Iron Grenadiers too?
Oh yeah, that's a wicked fire, eh? Good bonfire for burning the moose on. Kind of reminds me, it reminds me of the one that we did at Justin Bieber every year at the Stratford Festival. Just as much smoke, big flame. We do that to keep Sasquatch away. What'd you do yours for, eh?
Yeah, how you doing? I was walking down the street, hanging out, minding my own business. About to sit down on the park bench here and just enjoy my meal here. I got a nice little delicious lunch made by my wife, my lovely wife. She's a great cook. Sometimes not the best, but listen, we all suffice, right? And I'm sitting here on the bench about to open up my lunch box after a long day of working with construction workers. If you haven't noticed, I got this hard hat on, right? And I'm sitting here chilling, and next thing you know, I smell burning. And I go, what is that? And then the explosion, the loud, boom! I'm like, oh, what the hell was that? What's going on? You sound like Aaron Judge cracked a home run. I'm freaking out. I look up, and Mars Industries is on fire. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? The building just blew up. It's on fire now. And no one can have any answers. Nobody has any answers. Next thing you know, the fire shows up, the cops show up. Nobody knows what's going on. But damn things for sure, that building blew up. Now listen, I ain't no conspiracy theorist, but I'll tell you this. The owner of that building, he wears a metal helmet. Who's wearing a metal helmet? Just to do business. Something don't smell right. You understand what I'm saying? That building, that was an inside job. You can quote me on that. Thank you for having me on the news. I've never been on the news before. This is fantastic. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And before we go, I want to shout out some people. My man Shane, my man Woody, my man Mike. I appreciate you all. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate you. I'm on the freaking news right now. This is fantastic.
Well, that was certainly something. So let's see if we can check back in with Scrap Iron and see if he's been able to locate Destro or the Baroness, find out the cause of this fire. Over to you, Scrap Iron. Scrap Iron. Scrap, are you there? Looks like we might be having some technical difficulties, and oh my God. Oh, I'm going to have to go over there now.
All right. So the question was asked to me last week, and it's been asked a few times. If Classified went away, would you still have a channel? Like, would your channel still survive? And I think it's kind of a ridiculous question, but I also understand why somebody would ask. Now, when I first started doing the channel, when I first started doing YouTube, I wasn't trying to do YouTube per se. I was just picking up the Walmart figures, which were 4-inch figures, and I was comparing them to the original ones because I had it. Now, that's all that I was doing. And then when the Classified came out, and I didn't know anything about it, I was not in this toy world. I was not in the hobby like I am now. I didn't see anyone comparing them. And I was like, well, there's no one comparing them, so let me just start grabbing them, and I can compare them. You can go back and watch those videos, and you can see it was not very good. I didn't know what I was doing. I had really no idea. I'd walk into frame. I didn't edit anything, and not that I edit a lot now, but I didn't really know what I was doing. But starting early on, I was already talking about the 4-inch figures and comparing the Walmart figures. I come in, I start reviewing the Classified and just kind of showing them off. And it was something that to this day, most people don't do. I have tried to remember to compare every single O-ring figure that I have compared to the Classified one. And if you go back to the early ones, you'll see that there was a lot of cues that were taken that people didn't realize. So from there, I started getting other figures from other people. Well, from Greg. I don't want to say other people. From Greg. I did some DC figures. And then we didn't know where Classified was going, and I really looked into this Valaverse. And all I could find out about Valaverse was they were either online, people were saying they're the greatest figures ever. These are actual high-end figures, unlike Hasbro shit, or people are saying they're the biggest piece of shit ever. They break, they need to be heated up, they're junk. There was no middle ground. So I didn't want to buy them because at the time, $32 seemed like way too much. I wasn't into this hobby the way that I am now. But my buddy Greg said, hey, I have them if you want to review them. And I reviewed them. And I will say this, I believe that is what started kicking off the channel. Now, I had already kind of started doing the G.I. Joe, but it was in those comments. And if you go back to those playlists and you look at those early figures, you'll see people making comments like, hey, you're the first person to give me an honest opinion about these. Everyone is either saying they're pieces of shit or they're the greatest figures in the world. People still take shots at me or whatever. Were they perfect? Not at all. Were they awful? Not at all. They were enough to make me continue to buy the product on my own and review them. Now, obviously, most of you know I stopped collecting Valivers for a specific reason, and I won't, that's never going to change. You won't see any more reviews of Valivers or me purchasing them. But that is really what started to kicking off the channel. Now, the original logo was something that my daughter kind of did for me, that it said a punk with toys. Now, my original one, I used Punk Rock Skate Dad. That is my personal Instagram. Again, I wasn't creating a channel. So I just said Punk Rock Skate Dad. I was going to throw up all the things that I liked doing. I wasn't creating a channel. I was going to throw up skateboarding, working out, toys that I collected, stuff like that. Well, as I started getting more into it, I started focusing and really wasn't going to put the workout stuff on. And then I started moving away from putting the skateboarding stuff on because people wanted to talk about the toys. And that's what I was really doing. That's really what I recorded, right? I don't really record lifting weights. Just not my style. Skateboarding, it takes me forever to land tricks anymore. I feel awful ever asking someone to continue to film me. But I'll play into that a little bit more when I talk about things that I would have changed. So the original logo was a Punk with Toys with the G.I. Joe background. And then I wanted to switch it up. I saw other people, and I truly do believe that you shouldn't, once you become established, don't change your logo, right? GM has the same logo. Ford has the same logo, right? Chrysler continues to try and change their logo, but everyone always comes back to the fucking Pentastar. So why do you even try and change your logo, right? Once you've established that logo, that's how people know you. So when the logo was changed, if you don't know, this is the Vision Streetwear logo from skateboarding right here, Vision Streetwear. And I wanted something that wasn't G.I. Joe because I didn't want to be a G.I. Joe channel. I started off talking about G.I. Joe because that was all that I liked, but I started to get into this point where I wanted to review one of every type of figure. I thought, hey, I want people to come to this channel. They'd find a whole bunch of different things. Oh, hey, what's a Mezco like? What's an SH Figuarts like? What's a McFarlane like, right? Well, you start realizing that there's too much stuff to try and hit all of that. And people are not going to tune in to your channel to see you review one Mezco or, one SH Figuarts. You have to have a library of stuff. Now, one may take off every now and then. Boss Fight Studios, the Red Sonja, that did absolutely wonderful for me. But anything else from Boss Fight Studios didn't do that well for me. So I quickly changed to, hey, let's not try and buy one of everything to review, but let's just review everything that I purchased that I enjoy. So you saw the Masters of the Universe stuff. Now, I got out of the Masters of the Universe stuff. You don't see. That was a very hard thing to get into, but I also got away from it. I didn't stop reviewing it because it wasn't doing well. I stopped reviewing it because I stopped collecting them in a timely basis. And I don't believe that you need to be first, but being early definitely does help. Toy Optics, he can definitely speak to that, as he's had some stuff kind of go pretty fucking crazy that he gets really early. Toy Optics says, when I was handing out my stickers at SDCC to the people, I introduced myself. They suddenly said, "Oh, I know this logo name from somewhere." And that's one of that right there. Like, people, whether they like it or not, they know it. So some people see my logo and absolutely say, "I'm not watching this asshole. I don't fucking like this guy." But I think there's more people that see the logo and say, "Hey, you know what? I like hearing what he has to say." Or they already know the type of review or video that I'm going to do. They either like it or they don't, right? It helps distinguish exactly your show, your channel, your video that you're doing. Quickly, Action Hero Guy says, "What do you think of G.I. Joe Adventure Team from the 70s? I have absolutely no opinion on it whatsoever because it's not anything that I collect or look into. I do want the G.I. Joe Classified team to do as many of this old stuff as possible because G.I. Joe is not from 82 to 94. It encompasses so much. I love to see Sergeant Savage done in this way. I love to see Renegades done. I love to see them go into the vault and pull that stuff out and do the action adventure team in classified form. But I can't speak on what they actually were because I don't really pay attention. I'm not going to be someone who's going to sit up here and lie to you and say, "Oh, I fucking love it," or "I don't like it at all." It's nothing that I know very much about, so I can't really speak too much on it. I would like to see them touch on stuff to pull in those fans, those older fans that love that stuff. Or maybe they got their dad's hand-me-downs and they're like, "Hey, this brings back memories." Cypher63 jumping in and saying evening. So, contrary to what some people like to say and spread rumors that I'm just a classified channel, and once classified goes away, then I go away or other people go away. I collect other things, which I'm shocked that people still continue to think that all I do is collect G.I. Joe Classified. Now, obviously, I have done a whole series of reviewing the O-ring figures. I've done every single figure that I've had from 82 to I think 86. So series 1 through 5. Now, I haven't done every single figure because I don't have every single figure, but I have most of them. Along with the vehicles. Like, I have focused tremendously on all of that stuff. But when you look at the other stuff that I have done and that I've worked on, is I have the Marvel Legends, and I've really gotten into Marvel Legends, but I've also gone into doing stuff for the Big Bad Workshop. I do a lot of the 3D printed stuff. I went into the gridiron stuff, and I will still say, buddy, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Okay? So why don't you just lay down here? All right? And we'll be good. All right? Close the door. You're not going out right now. If I don't close the door, then my son, you can hear because he's yelling and screaming, playing video games. But the 3D printed stuff, I got into that. And yes, a lot of that is G.I. Joe related. But 3D printed stuff can always be used for other stuff. I love helping out these 3D printers that are working and creating new stuff. And it has been a wonderful, wonderful endeavor working with some of these people. And that's why I've had different affiliate links and been affiliated with certain guys and what they're doing. But the one thing that you'll find if you go to my page and you went to the playlists, you will find a whole bunch of different things. Okay. And I'm going to pull this up really quickly if I can to share the screen, because I don't even think a lot of people realize this. But this also is going to go to about what I would do differently. So again, when you come here, you see that, you know, I have my shorts, the weapons, I have the classified stuff, the G.I. Joe Super 7, just regular O-ring stuff, and other 3.75, 1/18 scale. Big Bad Workshop, your Marvel Legends. Obviously, I have my Monday Night Ramblings here. Skeletron figures. Operation Recall, right? Thursday with the Friend. Here's my Master Universe. Like, I created all of these playlists. And one of the biggest reasons why you do this is because you want to have a library of things that people can talk about. The lives, right? I think you guys all realize all the different lives that I have done over the past 4 years. I have been one of the most consistent toy tubers talking about toys. I choose not to talk about other things. The logo was created so it wouldn't have G.I. Joe in it. The show is created so it doesn't have G.I. Joe in it. And there's nothing wrong with those shows that do that. You have Talking Joes, right? They're literally talking G.I. Joe, Smoking Joes. You know, Podcasts from the Pit. Now, again, they talk about other things, but the title implies G.I. Joe. I wanted to make sure that if G.I. Joe isn't around, and G.I. Joe won't always be around in an iteration of toys that I may want, but there's so much stuff that I enjoy playing with, taking pictures of, that I've made sure that if G.I. Joe went away tomorrow, there are other things that I could spend my money on that I definitely enjoy. At first, it probably would have been Mythic Legions. I really enjoy the fantasy stuff. But when I look at what Big Bad Workshop is doing and Skeletron, I enjoy that. The more O-ring stuff that I see come out, the more I'm enjoying going back in and getting to mess around with the 1/18 scale stuff. That is a small market. And I understand. If that's all that I wanted to talk about, if I was really into the 1/18th, that's what I would talk about. You look at Wilhelm, right? A lot of you guys don't know who Wilhelm is. He doesn't really care for the, 1/6 or 1/12 scale stuff. So he doesn't really talk about it. He talks about the stuff that he enjoys talking about. That's exactly what I would be, that's what I would be doing. So if Classified went away, I would probably switch to more superhero based because I really enjoy it. And now, especially with Mattel getting the DC license, it scares me over how much stuff that I'm going to want. I'm not going to say, hey, I just need the original 7. I need those, and those are the figures I'm definitely I'm planning on getting when they come out, but I'm also not going to say it's the only ones that I'm going to get. Tony was notorious for, I just need the 7, right? And in the end, there were so many more that he wanted to get and create. There are certain ones that I know that I want, but I also know that I'm going to get more and more, right? So Gigi here, are you still buying Street Fighter figures? I'm finishing up the collection. So I think there's only 2 left that I need. And that is, I don't know. There's 2 left. Oh, and actually, there's only 1. I don't know. There's either 1 or 2 left that I need, and then I'm done. And then I'm out of that line. And that's why I keep looking at. So I keep looking at that Invincible line. There's not that many. They don't drop a whole shitload. So it's one of those things. But I have definitely looked at, hey, there are other properties that I like. Now, I don't think G.I. Joe is going away anytime soon. But I would focus in on something that I enjoy. Now, clearly, the Marvel Legends is one of the big things, or Marvel in general. Whether it be what Mezco is going to drop, SH Figuarts is going to drop, Mafex, I would probably focus on stuff like that. I got T-Hawk. I got T-Hawk the other day from Sergeant Reds. Sorry, I was talking and I was still on mute. I got T-Hawk from Sergeant Reds. So Zangief, I believe, is the last one, but I need a record off to go with Zangief. Anyway, so the channel is going to continue as long as I want it to continue, because as most of you guys probably realize, it's called A Punk with Toys. It's not called A Punk with Joes. I definitely didn't want to do that. At first, it was mostly a G.I. Joe channel. That's what I was talking about. But I was like, hey, you know what? I went by Punk Rock Skate Dad. I'm going to put skateboarding on there. I realized I'm not going to be filming all that much skateboarding. For one thing, I'm not going to be filming my workouts. It's just not something that I enjoy doing, filming. And I also feel I still live in an era. I'm still in an era in my head where I don't like recording myself skateboarding or working out. I don't think that I do too much that is exceptional that people want to see. From time to time, yes. And I do the same tricks over and over when I skateboard. It even gets boring for me to watch. Not boring to do, but boring for me to watch. With toys, I'm constantly reviewing something different. I'm not reviewing the exact same figure over and over and over. Do you want to see how deep my squats are? It feels weird setting up. It really does. I'll be 100% honest. It feels weird setting everything up. So the logo was created, so it is not a G.I. Joe logo. The name of the show, the name of the channel is A Punk with Toys. Meant so it is not focused only on G.I. Joe. And if that is all that you like, that is great. There is no doubt that this channel probably focuses almost 50% on G.I. Joe stuff. It is my favorite toy line. It is my favorite property. There is no doubt about it. All right. When people say, hey, if you had one toy, it's G.I. Joe. Like, I don't have to think about it. If you're just saying property, if you were saying, give me what line of G.I. Joe, well, then I might have to think about it between the O-Ring and Classified, because I really do love Classified. But if it went away, it went away. And I would move on and I would collect something else, because I truly do enjoy toy collecting. It's not always the most enjoyable in the community, because I don't think it's a secret to see how a lot of people in the community are acting these days. Everyone is entitled to act a certain way, but as an adult, I don't know why we want to continue to act that way, but to each their own, and to each for their own channel. They find what works for them. I find what works for me. So I enjoy not only the toy collecting, I enjoy reviewing toys. I enjoy doing photography, and I really enjoy setting up displays and doing little shorts. Just kind of recording just a little motion and showing what I've created. I love showing off what these 3D printers and what people like Radnom and Action Figures Sold Separately, what they are doing. That is something that I enjoy. I enjoy reaching out and getting to know people in the community. That's probably been the best thing that could have ever happened with this channel. going to shows, taking an audience that has got to know me. And I've said this before, when I actually decided to start doing like reviews, I wanted to be on camera because if you ever did get popular, you want people to know what you look like. Most people don't know what Bobby B looks like. That's what he wants. He's not, again, he doesn't hide who he is, but he's also not trying to show off his face. And a lot of people are like, hey, people just want to see the review of the figures. And you're absolutely correct. I wanted people to see who I am, make an emotional connection with me. And I've done that by doing reviews like that, but also creating streams. You guys know my family. You know my kids' names, probably to a detriment. Sometimes even I look back and I think, why the hell do they know their names? But you guys do. I don't hate Transformers. I just don't hate talking about Transformers. But I do not hate Transformers. I don't want to talk about them. No, I do not collect them. I do not collect Transformers. There's too many. I'm not going to lie. I do walk by like a lot of the G1s that they do, and I'm like, God, those look so good. But I have no room for them. And it would just be another obsession where I enjoy, again, Marvel superheroes way more. Obviously, what Big Bad Workshop is doing. Again, you can see over there, that is still a row of, or a shelf of Mythic Legion and Four Horsemen stuff. I thought they were really making a lot of good stuff. I think Boss Fight Studios. I could really see myself getting into fantasy stuff. So the channel will continue, because the thing that I've tried doing with my lives, and even though it is based on toys, obviously I spend 45 minutes or longer in the beginning monologue telling you about what I did. It's become a social channel of me talking to you guys and you people getting to know who I am. Yeah, I meant you people. And it's helped create an actual community. And like I said, it's gone from there's people that think that they know you on the internet to people you start to do shows with, and you see them, you get their mannerisms, you know how they talk, their cadence, right? The only thing you really don't know is how they physically look and how tall or how big they are. And it goes from creating friendships with guys like Tony and Ed on screen to starting to go to shows, meeting them in real life, and becoming actual friends with them. And like I said, other than height and size, you know everything. Like, you see their mannerisms. That's why you know when people are fake, right? There are certain people that I am not a fan of on YouTube that I'm told, like, if you met them in real life, you might like them because that's an act. Well, this isn't an act. I'm not an actor, all right? I don't think there's any toy tuber that's an actor, to be honest. And if they are, they're a really shitty actor. The fact is, when you act something out, when you're just supposed to be giving your opinion or what you think, it tells me you're just a fake fucker. You're fake. And Allison once said about someone, Allison, there's one person that I'm just not a fan of. And she said, that's kind of an act for him. That's his persona. He kind of acts. He's not really like that in person. And she said, but that would probably make you like him even less because you would look at him as being fake. And she's absolutely 100% correct. I don't like fake people. And yes, sometimes I might be a little exaggerated here. I can fully admit that. But I've asked everyone at Joe Fest, am I not pretty much what you see? And I think everyone to a T has said, yeah, you were pretty much exactly what you show on this. So the live streams have been created to emphasize a social, like a social place for us to hang out. And it's just based around toys. Obviously, when you see Thursday with a Friend, it is very little about toys. It is people in the toy community, but getting to know them and talk to them. And like I said, that's the reason why I have become, that's why I'm so proud of that show, because it's not a toy. How many times can we only talk about toys? But I also never wanted to be a drama channel. And I could probably do a search between Matthew's and mine Instagram messaging, and it was one of the first thing that I said. I'm like, I don't want to be a drama channel. It's just cheap pop, right? It's, you get that cheap instant pop, but eventually people realize you have no substance if everything that you have to do each week is go on there and talk about drama. And I'm not going to sit there and say I've never had my say about people, whether people have pissed me off, but everything that I've had something to say, it has been factually about stuff that we have seen them do or what they have done and what some people have actually done to me. So I created the show, and it's evolved to be based not around toys. Well, I'm sorry, circling around toys, but the main premise of the live streams is about the people and the people we talk to. Quickly here, Dirty Knife says, Punk, are you going to do another mega video, 100 to 200? I watched your first one at least 10 times. So that is one of the things that I do need to start working on. What I will be doing is soon, probably starting next year, I want to have it done. I'll do 101 to 120, 121 to 140, and so on. I also want to get the vehicles done and do the other retro card ones. Later on, probably at the end of the year, then I will probably do the super cut where I have, 101 to 200. Those are going to come back. They take way more time. We were actually just talking about it. I think it got brought up maybe on Thursday with a friend. That is something that I definitely will be doing again. Okay. Ultra Mesh says, Punk up break dancing. We will be popping and locking up here. No, I will not be doing that. And quickly, Cookster says, give or take few exceptions, the Toy Tube community is generally positive space, and that is beautiful. It is, and it's like with any type of negativity sells. People see the negativity, people go to the negativity. So it's like when there is a broken figure, something is defective, and someone will post something that's defective, and they're like, look at this. 5 people posted how how these figures are defective. Well, the question is there 100,000 of these made? And did everyone that had a good one post that? Negativity works the exact same way. But you are correct. I have met some of the best people in the world here. And there are some people that I didn't like. That I didn't like their persona, or maybe just their YouTube in general. And then I get to meet them, and then you completely change the way you feel about them because you've got to know the person and your feelings on them change. There's other people that have been the exact opposite, where I used to really like them, then you get to know them, and you realize this is not a person that I want to be associated with. This is not the type of person that I want to spend my time with or be friends with. And that's perfectly fine. And that's how the channel is truly based. It is a toy channel, but I talk about my family, what I'm doing. I talk to people about their lives. And if classified went away, as long as I would not just do it to keep a channel going. I would do it because I enjoy doing the reviews, and if there's another toy line that I enjoy, then I would gravitate to that and do that. So this actually went longer than I had planned because I wanted to talk about some of the things that I would do differently. So I think I might keep that till next week. Because there's a bunch of stuff that it's not that I would do differently, but there's a few things that I think could help a lot of people getting into YouTube, just so they're not hit with it when they get monetized, right? That they're not monetized. Like when they get monetized, they don't have to worry about fixing this or fixing that. Just things to look for that you don't know. But I think maybe I will jump into that next week. It is already approaching 12:30. This has been over 3 hours. I do have to work in the morning. So I think that will be the topic for next week, unless if something big happens. But I'm going to put that down. So Evo Dookie, if you're watching right now and you're like, fuck, I listened to this whole goddamn thing only to hear you talk about what you would change. I think it's a topic that deserves a little bit more time, and I thought I was going to have more time. I don't know why I ever think that, because we know I can just ramble on and on and on. What is this? MCR says, if Punk's Live never existed, Tony would have never known how lucky he is at giveaways. All right, you're making me laugh. Are these great comments to me, Pop, or great comments in the or great comments in the comment section, I guess. So anyway, like I said, I will talk about what I'm going to do differently probably next week, as long as something doesn't happen. Because there are some things that it's not just things that I would do differently per se. I've always said in life, I wouldn't change a damn thing because I'm very happy with who I am and where I am. So I feel like if you ever change things, it changes your whole course and your direction. And you only want to change things if you're not happy. But there are things that I would do differently that I think would have helped the channel grow. So we will talk about that next week, as long as something else doesn't happen. So Evo Dookie, if you are watching, next week we will be discussing that. But I'm going to get out of here. You guys know where to find me. Tomorrow, 6:30-ish, Baldylocks review, Circle of Jerks. There is no Thursday with a Friend this week. As I said, I'm going to be taking the last week of every month off because I need a break. It's called a mental break. I'm probably going to go to the gym. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. I will see you guys all tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow. Circle of Jerks. Take care.